Okay, this is exactly how it played out this week. And tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, you are Han Solo. I'm Luke Skywalker, and that's Chewie. Okay, we're going to rescue the princess. So we're playing Destiny. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the cell bay. We create havoc. Okay, everything goes to hell, and the alarms are going off all over the place. So this is Bungie and Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Peroty, you get on the intercom and you say, "Everything's under control. Situation normal." And they ask, "What's happened?" Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. And we're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? And then there's like more stuff comes, like DDOSing, and it's like, we're sending a squad up. And then he's like, negative, we've had a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. That's definitely what's happened this week.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So, welcome to the show, everyone. I am Nitedemon, here with Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life and Peroty. And we have a guest. I don't know how good his audio is going to be, because we haven't tested him so far.
I hope I'm all right.
Sounds like you're on your phone, but we'll go with it. You know, who cares about editing these days?
I'm definitely on my phone because I'm on my AirPods in the middle of a government-facilitated oil refinery.
Fair enough. We'll go with
that. You
that.
shouldn't say that over the internet.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
I didn't say which one.
There's only 3. We can narrow it down.
It's Hawkslayer. Welcome back to the show.
What's up, y'all? It's been far, far too long.
It definitely has. So how you doing?
I am doing great, but shall I just jump right into the whole reason why I'm even here to begin with?
I mean, I didn't know you was going to be doing that today.
I didn't know you was doing anything today, so it's surprising me.
I have been cooking up something for months for y'all.
Okay.
And whenever I say cooking up, I mean I have gotten the entire community involved. I mean hosts from all other podcasts I'm not going to name at the moment because I don't want to give them credit, because this is Two Titans and a Hunter, and everybody should listen to us.
I'm scared now, but you can give other people credit. I don't. This is a show about sharing.
No. I think he's on the right track.
No, we share. We share because we care. Because it's not all about us; it's about the community as a whole. And if everybody contributes to the community, then they are definitely worth mentioning, especially if it's something good for the community.
Well, let's just say,
I don't know if this qualifies that.
Let's just say I got Guardian Downcast, Guardian Hub, and the lore scribe from Guardian Downcast involved in the creation of the catastrophe that's about to happen in a couple weeks.
Okay, I was panicking then. I was thinking, today, something's happening today. I'm having a heart attack. I've got heart palpitations.
No, because actually, I need to give the viewers time to participate in this.
There's no viewers. This is an audio medium.
Listeners.
Nobody can see your podcast.
He's being facetious.
Well, I got to give a chance for all of the listeners and all of the future participants in order to predict the outcome of the contestants. Yeah. So
see, he's talking in circles because nobody knows what the hell he's talking about.
Ooh. No.
Yeah. So
yeah, 2/3 of us are completely in the dark, and
think that any of us here.
I mean, I know what I'm talking about.
If this were TikTok, I already would have scrolled past you. Get to the point.
So, I'm planning on doing another contest, hence Hawkslayer, the contest overseer.
Ah, okay.
So, what do you want first? Do you want the prize first, or do you want me to list the prize first, or the
People are probably going to want to know
contest?
what they're competing for first.
No,
They're like,
list
"Oh,
the prize.
come on."
Give the prize, because then that keeps people interested in staying
Exactly.
here longer. Because
So-
remember, we're TikToking here. We need something flashy. Go.
So, as for the prize, it'll be a custom handmade ghost by one of my friends in Australia. He has very graciously offered a handmade ghost. He has 3 models available right now, and I will list them all in the Discord here later on. But let me tell you this: these things are absolute works of art, and they are gorgeous.
Wow.
They even have
I wanna
lights
go.
and
Do I have
flash,
a ghost?
and I think that some of them even levitate.
I want a ghost. Can I have a ghost?
You can't enter.
What?
So,
But look,
No.
this whole host things can't enter thing is a little on no, that's
Look,
not. It's not fun.
you know Sevs, because
I
I'm
want a
guessing. I'm
Well,
guessing
talk
this
to
is from
talk to
Sevs.
Sevs and get a ghost.
Probably
Yeah.
says, yeah.
well, unfortunately, you 3 will not be competing for the ghost. It'll be
Damn it.
everybody else. Everybody else will be. They'll be putting in their predictions on what will happen on the contest in 2 to 3 weeks.
Which is
This is going to be a Jeopardy / Are You Smarter Than a Guardian
Neither one of
style.
those things in my case. Yep, I'm out.
Oh no! You are in the middle of this.
I choose to live.
Too late. Your fate has already been sealed.
Oh, fantastic.
So, how this is going to work? The viewers are going to give their predictions on what the final score will be
Respawn
between
is gonna win.
Peroty, Nitedemon, or Respawn. And whoever gets the closest score with all 3 predictions will win the prize.
Are they allowed to go over, or is it as close as you can get without going over? Like
No. You can go
This
over.
is Price is Right rules.
No. This is not Price is Right tools. Now, I will say this for you 3, you need to procure at least one person each that you can call when you're in a bind to answer a question, because you get 3 bailouts. You get call a person, you get a free bailout where you get 1 free answer, and then the third one you get a hint. Those are your 3 bailouts.
So it's Who Wants to Be a
Mylan
Millionaire?
Games.
Yeah, who wants to be a
Games.
millionaire?
Are you available?
All right. So Who Wants to Be a
Well,
Millionaire with
And
Price is Right rules? Got
and
it?
Jeopardy. Yeah. I
No,
got
no
that.
Price is Right. We established
So-
this. Price is wrong, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, by the way, I have also contacted multiple lore scribes on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I have procured like a couple questions from this, a couple questions from there, and I have organized all of these together into several questions. And there'll be random double point questions,
Uh-huh.
but there's going to be a twist at the end for y'all.
There's already a twist. The
You're-
whole game's a twist.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
there's
is-
even more of a twist.
This has been nothing but twists so far.
Because unfortunately, you guys are not playing for a prize on this one. You 3 are playing to avoid a punishment.
Whoa, I definitely didn't sign up for this.
Nobody
Hold
signed up for this.
Oh,
He's just making it up as he goes along, and we're
Yeah,
just having to go along with it.
Hold
for
on.
some
I'm
reason.
Nobody
always
signed
getting
up.
punished. This isn't
Nobody
fair.
signed up for any part of this. I don't even know what I'm doing yet, and I'm already not excited.
Oh, trust me, I have.
You're also
I
assuming
have
I'm going to be
worked with
available when you
Gator.
do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Oh, trust me. I will wait. I'm a very patient man because I've been brewing this up for 3 months now,
That's it.
and I have made a
Parody,
custom
stop being
tailored
confused.
punishment. I have made a custom tailored punishment for each and every one of you, and it has
I'm not
nothing
playing
to do
Titan.
with actual gameplay.
Okay. I'm not playing Titan.
So-
Just say that.
So I wanted to get away from that whole stigma. Everything will be contained within the podcast and the recording of the podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can't tell you guys the punishments till to the end
Till
of
we
the
earn them?
game.
Okay.
So
What?
the person,
Okay.
so the host who wins will not get a punishment at all. The other two will.
Oh, the other two will. Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I
Sorry,
guess.
guys. I look. I know you don't want the punishment, but it's a thing. I'm not losing.
Maybe we do.
I'm just gonna say this: Respawn, you don't want to lose.
Well, I don't want to lose anyway. I'm very competitive.
You really don't want to lose.
So what are we doing? I still don't feel like I have any idea what's happening yet.
We've got to answer questions and win so that whoever guesses the closest points that we win by wins the prize. And we just need to focus on winning, because if we lose, there's 2 punishments for the losers.
Sounds good.
I'm sure I can procure a prize for the winner, because I feel like the winner does need something other than just watching his 2 hosts writhe in pain and agony.
No, that's fine.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. I'm
we're
definitely
all
okay
down with
watching
that.
them.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
So-
brother, no camaraderie here, bud.
So the main categories that you're going to need to keep in mind of is D1 lore, Destiny
Right.
2 lore,
Right.
who said this, where is this, and I'm still trying to come up with a name for the last category, but everything is all Destiny related. And with all 3 of you being avid Destiny veterans, you should know these. A few questions will stump you, but that's why you have those bailouts.
I just volunteer to
Violent
lose
games?
on all lore questions now.
Yeah. That's not true. You know some lore. I've heard you talk about some lore, Peroty.
Okay, I did
'Cause
not
I
go
looked it up.
super. I did not go super obscure. A few of the questions will be a little difficult because I had no idea on a couple of these.
So who out of the 2 of you is putting Arf down as the phone a friend?
No, I'm going straight to the top. I'm going to Mylan Games.
Actually, I tried to get a hold of Arf, but obviously he's too busy, and I didn't want to bug him too bad. So
he's off setting fires. Leave him be.
Yeah, he sent you an
So-
email this week, Respawn, that he's asked for you to kindly read out.
Oh, wonderful. That
So-
can't be anything bad.
as another option, I went to Laz the lawyer.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know
and
who that
boy,
is.
did he help me out.
Is that somebody we know, Laz the lawyer?
Yeah, Laz, he's the lore scribe for Guardian Downcast.
Oh. I
He-
thought you said the
he does-
lawyer, like
he-
a courtroom kind
No,
of thing.
he's their lawyer. You just obviously he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen.
Yeah.
No.
I'm all over. So I kind of just hop around to whichever podcast welcomes me most on that particular day. So
Well, if you could be more all over and give us details in a linear, coherent fashion, so that A, the listeners can understand, B, we can understand, and C, you can, I don't know. Get
No,
your
I think
message across.
it's just that he's so excited to get it all out, and he just like
yes, because I have been
Like a
planning
small
this for
child.
months. So
Can we start with
in
the
a less-
when? Like when are we expected to do this?
Yeah.
in about 2 to 3 weeks. That way, it'll give the listeners plenty of time to submit their answers, and they need to do it in the fashion Respawn, Peroty, Nitedemon. And by each one of their names is going to have the score that they predict that they're going to have. And the scores are going to be set up Jeopardy style. So first one is going to be 100, 200, 400, 800. Or no, I forgot how.
Can we go
You
negative?
forgot how to do it?
So is this straight Jeopardy where I can go positive or negative depending? And am I wagering on my answers?
No, there will be particular questions that will be randomly chosen where you can wager your points, but an incorrect answer will not cause you to lose points unless if you wagered them.
Excuse me, I've got my hand up over here. What's Jeopardy?
A quiz
Oh
show.
yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's a game show. You start off with a grid on the board with multiple different categories, and each number, which has a numeric value for money, will be coming down in ascending order from that category.
Is this the one where I have to answer the
listeners are the main
In the form of a question.
in the form of a question? Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this is going to work.
Yeah.
I've already got-
You're not. Okay,
Yeah,
you're not going to have to answer it in the form of a question.
No, we totally should though. What is
for those listeners? For those listeners who have no idea what Jeopardy is, it's a US-based game show where basically there's a number of categories, and each category has different answers in them, going from basically easy to hard, but all of those things have something to do with the category they're under. Mm-hmm. And sort of the spin on the show is you're given an answer by the host, and you have to basically you're given a fact, you're given a thing, and you have to answer in the form of a question, like what is, Ikora Ray, Cade 6, and Commander Zavala are in Destiny.
Vanguard?
Yeah. So like your answer would be like, what is the Vanguard of Destiny, or something like that. So it's basically it's a question and answer show with a slight twist where it's backwards. As you're answering in the form of a question, and then there are certain answers on the board that they call the daily double, which is basically like a harder question where you can then wager. You know the category and sort of the difficulty level, but you don't know the question yet. So you can wager sort of how many of your points you want to risk getting this right and wrong. And there's two separate rounds.
The daily double, the point is just worth double what it shows.
Is it double?
Right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. What you're thinking about is the very last question where you can wager whatever you want. Yeah.
That's right. It's been a hot minute. Yeah. And there's only 2 rounds. And then in the final, the final Jeopardy, the third round is you're given the question, the answer, and you wager what you think, do I think I know this or not? You wager, then you're given the answer, the question to answer, and you write it down. But this may not be relevant at all. We're going to do some sort of Q&A thing.
Well,
Okay.
how this is going to work, you're going to have 3 double point questions that are randomized. I'm going to know when they're going to come up, but y'all won't know till it is chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And also how the answering is going to work. Since I don't have a buzzer system set up that I can link to all of y'all, how this is going to work, you're going to have to write down your answers ahead of time. Like after the question, this is where the "Are you smarter than a 5th grader" type format comes in, where all 3 of you get a chance to answer versus only one of you winning the race to the buzzer, since we don't have like a buzzer system set up.
Well, okay, so there's multiple people in the chat that have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So you're gonna have to like write this down.
There's multiple hosts who have no idea what you're talking about or what is expected of them.
I will write out all the details and I will send them over to Peroty to be added into the show notes, as well as into the contest submission, where I will label out specifically examples on.
So the TLDR is there's going to be a game show type contest, right? The listeners are the ones that benefit because you get to pick the outcome of who wins, right? But we're the ones that have to do all the work and try to answer all the questions. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you predict, does Respawn win? Does Peroty win? Does Nitedemon win? And by what score will they have at the end of the winning, right? So 2 criteria. And then...
Well, no, it's just 1 criteria. It's just who has the closest prediction to the score. That's it.
To whose score, though? The winning score?
And what do they
all
win?
3.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they win a custom handmade 3D printed ghost. Respawn, you know the individual I'm talking about.
We all do, yeah.
It's Sevs, right? Yeah. I mean, Sevs, friend of the show, been on the show a number of times. It's Sevs. This is not a secret.
Yes. This is Sevs. He has very graciously donated one of his ghosts.
And we've all seen his ghosts. We've all seen his TikTok. We know the quality and how he makes them. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yes.
Quick question: does Sevs know this?
Yes, he was the one that brought this up.
Okay, just making sure. Since we're all in the dark, I just want to make sure that Sevs is aware of this contest.
Yes, he is very, very aware. He just thought that I was going to be doing this like last week or week before last. But unfortunately, I am a blue collar worker and I got to work a lot. and I mean a lot.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I do have one question. I know you were talking about like getting in touch with the other podcasts and things. Just out of curiosity, for my reasonings, who's editing this mess?
You?
Damn it!
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get out of this
Somehow.
I thought, if I'm participating, I don't have to edit the mess.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Maybe this just goes. Maybe I would say maybe it goes a bit as just an unedited cluster as a reward for their patrons.
I mean,
Oh.
that isn't that like how we do it normally
Look,
anyway?
the reason why I edit is because I don't want to give the patrons the hot mess that this show. As an example, the beginning part of this show already, with a contest that nobody knows what's going on and nobody knows really how it's going to play out. So yeah,
you could have enjoyed 30 minutes of trying to understand what this contest is.
Yeah,
but instead you're going to enjoy maybe also still 30 minutes of trying to understand what this contest is, depending on how Night Demons has time to edit this week.
Yeah,
it's a surprise.
I will type out everything, lay out all the rules, all the details, and I'll have everything sent over to you either by this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
I want the mess.
Send it over to our lawyer, please, Laz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to need my lawyer to review this because I don't like agreeing to things that I don't understand.
Right.
Just nod your head and back away. Nod your head and back away. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm already planning to lose, so.
Actually, Peroty, you got a pretty good chance. All the lore stuff you should know.
No.
I think somebody's playing favorites already. No, I think somebody's playing favorites already, Respawn. I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
From the offset, this is not going our way. I think he's got a favorite.
That's why I'm planning to lose out of the gate. So there's no question. Everyone set your sights low.
Don't pretend that there's going to be some kind of weird twist double jeopardy where you win for losing and us two just completely lose. I see your plan, you two.
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
Them two are me too.
I really thought about like sabotaging Respawn just to watch him writhe in pain.
You don't need to sabotage Respawn.
I do that on my own.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking Respawn trivia questions. Come on now, that's already sabotage in a way. I think you were sabotaged out of the gate.
No, what I was planning on doing was accidentally letting a modified script get leaked, and then somehow Respawn getting a hold of it, and then answering all the answers wrong.
See, the problem with that theory is you expect me to remember all the wrong answers.
And you'd expect him to look at the script and read it.
Yeah, no. How long have you actually listened to this show to know that he comes to the show as is? He has not read anything prior to the show. He barely reads anything while the show is on.
Best case scenario, I listened to Astacross. Best case scenario. Yeah.
If you've managed to get the script to Astacross first, then you've got a chance.
So we've got the guy who doesn't remember medically, the guy who has a terrible memory, and then the British man who has a memory for some things. And you're expecting us to do lore things. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here, Night Demon, because I know the two of us have zero memory. So I figure you're the only one by default who has some memory.
I think we're going to be
there's a chance.
Less negative at the end of the round. I think that's the goal, is who's going to be less negative.
Well, I've just been told I can't go negative, so I think anybody with a positive score at the end of this is going to win. It's going to be like 100 to 200 to 300.
We're going to have to go negative because otherwise all of us are going to be sitting at 0 as a tie score.
I can already tell you right now that's going to be T-Rex's first submission. Respawn 0, Peroty 0, Night Demon 0.
That's a really good guess.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
So you're going to have to work out when everyone submits zeros across the board. How do you split that ghost up, and how many ghosts are you providing? Because this is on you.
At that point, okay. Number one, I highly doubt that's going to happen because you're going to get some of these questions right. All three of you are.
Hey, that's a good idea, actually. If us three get together and we sabotage this whole thing, none of us lose, none of us win. He can't punish us.
Yeah.
Oh, do you forget that I have a punishment?
He's the other one with the 000 submission.
We have out Taskmaster the Taskmaster.
We have
become little Alex Horn.
Well,
What
I
do you
thought
do
about
when your
this
contestants?
because
What do you do when your contestants bully you? How do you play that out?
Well,
I send them to the gulag.
we've
That's
been
what I do with
bullied.
bullies.
We've been bullied first, so we're just bullying back at this point. I already feel bullied.
So bullying has become the new bullying. So now you have to bully me.
Bullying the bully.
You started it. You walked in here and said, "I'm going to bully you," and then what did you expect to happen, sir?
I did not say that directly.
Directly
he
being
just
the
heavily
key
implied
word
it.
there. Let's not overlook that, okay? We're
Listen,
not
just
just
'cause-
glancing over that.
Hey, don't act like a low key. All three of you aren't enjoying this whole thing.
Oh no, we're absolutely gonna enjoy sabotaging. Well, I will.
Yeah,
But
100%.
Demon is gonna be chaotic. Respawn's gonna be sabotage, and Peroty is gonna win because of that. Oh, probably.
No,
Well,
That's not a bad assessment.
I'm throwing the match. We're all throwing the match. The match has already been thrown.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever can guess who accidentally gets one right, because it's not going to be intentional. I'll tell you what. It's like I don't know. Eris Morn, correct. Oh no. Hold on. Zavala. Yeah, Zavala.
Put money on Respawn for your Chaos Monkey.
Oh, I'm all about the chaos monkey. Oh,
He
yeah.
is the Chaos pick.
So DDoSing, eh? That's been a thing this week.
I feel DDoSed.
Porkslayer, have you played
Come
some
on.
Destiny this week? Have you been involved
Oh.
in the weapon scandals or DDoSes?
Scandals.
N-
No scandals.
no, but I did get restricted whenever I couldn't equip any of my crafted weapons there for a while.
Is that because you got them
Maybe?
via nefarious means?
No,
No.
they
Oh,
there for a little bit.
Crafted
They
weapons?
disabled. They did disable all crafted weapons there for a while.
Ah. See, I
Oh.
wouldn't know because I didn't actually jump on until they patched it on Thursday. But when the podcast finished last week, we spent how long was it that we spent during the podcast, Peroty, trying to put it in his mind that he was going to craft one of these stupid illegal weapons, and he was like, no, I'm not going to be doing that. Half an hour after the podcast, he's on the phone to Micah. He's going, Micah, I need to do this. We need to go and do this. And then within like half an
No,
hour,
they pressured me, dude. I was the victim.
no, we put it in your mind, and it just took you half an hour after the podcast to go and do it. I then had to
was
sit
the
there
victim.
while he was talking to Micah on the phone. He was ignoring me in the chat while he was trying to craft these weapons. But
I
we
wasn't
did.
ignoring you. I was getting I couldn't hear y'all because whenever I had to slow down everything to make these weapons work, the chat and everything just died.
Well, you shouldn't have been streaming it. But the funny thing was, he managed to craft one, and I think you crafted like a second one after that. He then came into I had a quota checkpoint, and I said, right, he's like, go and get a team. So like, I'm like, I'm on Xbox, and you're on PC. And you're in a Discord chat with me. How is this going to work? So he tries to convince me somehow he's able to talk to everybody in the lobby, and it didn't work out. But it didn't matter because everybody I invited from the Xbox side came in with these stupid weapons, and Crota just went goodbye, and that was it. We were like, oh my god. So I had another checkpoint that I loaded up, and then Dimwee was in Respawn's chat, and he brought a whole gang with him. He brought like 4 people, and they went, just hold my beer. And I just stood there, and poor Crota did not know what to do. It was like it was done and within seconds. I think they only got one sword, didn't they? And it was like,
That's all we needed.
Is that
And then
it?
all of us just opened up with these shotgun grenade launchers,
Well,
and
all
Dimwee had
of
one.
you did. I had nothing. I had nothing apart from.
Dimwee had one that not only is a shotgun grenade launcher, but it's a shotgun grenade launcher that never runs out of ammo because he put Mulligan on there. And for some reason, Mulligan just bugged out, and every shot that he fired just gave him rounds back in his gun.
Because if you missed a shot with a shotgun, and this is just one of the pellets missed, it would proc the Mulligan. So that's why it would just keep going, because you didn't have to zoom in and scope in. If you zoomed in and scoped in, you would hit all your shots if you were actually on the target. So it didn't matter if you missed, as long as you got like 5 out of the 6 bolts on the boss. It was like ridiculous. But yes, that was very funny shenanigans. So the raid encounter that normally takes at least, I'd say, 5 to 10 minutes was done and dusted within 2. both times, and it was ridiculous. He was
Nice.
able to talk in the second lobby that we came
Yeah.
into, but that was so funny. I had two headsets on. I had one headset with my Xbox in one ear, trying to communicate to the people that were in the team to say that he would go and. I think you were one of the swords, weren't you? So that was
No,
quite
I
fun.
wasn't.
You were
No,
doing
I don't-
something.
I was blowing stuff up. I was taking care of the knights in the
Okay.
towers. Yeah.
Now, I will say this: I have not done the Crota raid yet.
You're not
Okay.
missing out.
You are missing out. It's good
So-
fun. It is good fun.
So we need to fix that at some point.
Well, we'd love to, but
You
you're
know
always
who
in
to
a crane
contact.
that with a flat tire. Also,
Yeah,
fun fact, didn't know
that-
cranes had tires. I thought they were on tracks, so that's a fun fact.
not all cranes. Those are called lattice boom crawlers. The one that I'm on is classified as a large hydraulic, which is an RT, which uses tires that are about 6 feet tall.
Hey, Respawn, do you even know your cranes? Come on. That's
No,
whatever he just
not even a little bit. Mm-mm.
You can't invite somebody on
Yeah.
for crane talk and not really know about your cranes.
I know. Well, I mean, we have cranes in Florida, but they're the winged kind that aren't really known for lifting things heavier
Oh.
than a baby.
Mm-hmm. Those are storks you're thinking of.
Damn it! Even
Oh,
that's
that's a-
wrong. See?
But yeah, after I kind of
Oh.
got off last week with Respawn and left him to play with his crafted guns, I tried desperately. I loaded up. I got on the old Xbox One. I had all the kids on. They were doing stuff, downloading stuff. I was on the slower end of the internet. I was on like the internet that the kids normally have. So theirs is slower than like the main part of the house. And it was like I could not do anything. The original Xbox One was going, ha ha ha. You thought I was slow. Look at me go now. And I was like, I want you to be slow. I want to craft these weapons. I could not do it. So I gave up after that. And then I was like, when I heard that the Master Raid and the Oversouls weren't going to be dropping from Tuesday Reset, I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to wait until they've actually fixed it so that I could then try and do a raid from like start to finish to get my guaranteed Oversoul or my 2 Oversouls from doing the full run. That didn't go quite according to plan this week, but I streamed trying to get through the lamps again with an LFG team, as I seem to do each week. And you'd think at least one week I'd find the LFG team that could do it, but no. But I still had fun. No.
I'm surprised you can, dude. Most
No,
of
but the
time,
thing is, if I don't stream it, I get through it. I find an LFG team that are just like dedicated, and we go straight like 10 minutes all the way through the whole raid. If I'm streaming and I'm doing an LFG team, they're like, "Oh, what's this bird? No, that's not a bird. That's a oh god, that's a lantern gone in his face."
That's a crane.
Yeah, but yeah, so I kind of steered clear of Destiny. So, and then I heard about the DDoSing attacks as well as everything else, and for the game to still be running the way it was with the broken weapons that they had going around Crucible and the PvE side of it, and being DDoSed, and I know people were getting weaseled and other error codes from all of this, but the game
I
still
got a lot of cat error codes.
the game still managed to survive and still be up and working to some extent, which was very bizarre for like everything going wrong in the game. It's like they gave up with the firefighting and they just went, we're just going to stick with the DDoS stuff. We'll fix that, and then we'll come back to fixing your weapons.
Yep, and do that in a couple pieces to say we're going to do this, do the small fix, and then do the permanent fix.
So you were saying that you experienced some DDoS stuff, didn't you, Peroty?
Yeah, just trying to get on this week. It was just I could get on long enough to start an encounter or something, but I didn't actually make it through anything. I got kicked, just like completely out of the game, like to the original login screen a number of times. And then just said after the third time, I was like, this is just not the night. And with everything else going on this week, I was like, this is just, we'll come back next week. We'll see what happens then. And then next week didn't really happen either. And now we're at the weekend, and I'm going, where did the week go?
Indeed. I got 6 weeks at home, and they're flying by. I'm like, no, I want to go back to work.
Well, if you were off this week, why didn't you come and join me with my stream? You could have
Didn't
joined
know.
in with the pain of trying to get through the lanterns with an LFG team.
You never invite me.
You weren't even on.
Someone's not
You don't know that.
subscribed. He doesn't know when you go live.
No.
He didn't hit the bell. He didn't hit the bell at twitch.tv/2titans and a hunter. He doesn't know.
But other people know.
Wow,
I would hope so.
You didn't have to single me out like that. I didn't know.
Have you guys though? Have you guys got on and played your story for this week?
Nope.
Do you know about the Imbaru engine?
Nope. I got catted twice and I gave up.
I got to the engine. I got almost through the little puzzle bit, and then got kicked enough times that I gave up trying to finish the rest of the puzzle.
Oh.
I got down to one chest, and then I was like, I'm sure I can just look up where these are, but I was trying to sort of learn the puzzle while being on the phone speaking to a parent, and was just like, I've got an hour, let me see if I can sort of sort this out. And then the game was like, no, you cannot.
Well, I do have a video from Abontis if you want to have a look at that. Because I thought it was going to be something really complicated, and it wasn't. It was, find the symbols of the chests, and that was it, really. But I think it's something that's going to happen more and more for the next couple of weeks, and it's going to build to something in the story and the lore, and go along with with what's happening with poor old Eris. Bless her.
Poor old Eris.
Yeah, poor
She's becoming homicidal, dude.
Yeah, but look at all the trauma that poor woman has gone through. She's got 3 eyes, for God's sake.
And she even said, no, she even said she's not doing this of necessity. She's doing it because she wants to.
For funsies.
Yeah.
Are you guys...
I called it in the beginning. We're gonna have to kill her. We're gonna turn her into a legit hive god, and she's gonna be like, you know what, Guardians? Thanks for all the tributes, but you're gonna be the next ones. So yeah, how about that?
Hey, did you guys also forget that she threw her rock on Cade 6's map? Like, how could you guys forget that? That was just so disrespectful.
She doesn't have the rock anymore. The rock is gone. There is no more rock.
No, she's still got a rock.
She doesn't have the rock. She is eating the rock. The rock is inside of her.
Yes, but still, it's not the rock that's the thing. It's the principle of the matter here.
Yeah, but I mean, she hasn't put that rock on the map in a long time. She's just used it to turn herself into an evil hive god. So
well,
silver lining.
Okay.
I mean, it could be a good hive
yeah,
god.
the rock hasn't been around. The map hasn't been around. Neither has Cade 6 till recently.
No, guys, for all y'all asking, it's the first Descendant. It's the second beta. So it's only live until
we knew what you were playing. We knew that you kind of pretended to play Destiny 3.
No, but so the one character has a blade barrage, goes invisible, has an arc melee, and what was the third thing? Has hunter dodge. So I mean, yeah, it's absolutely Destiny. Just by a different name.
So shall I tell you what's happening this upcoming week in Destiny?
Not if we can avoid it.
You should.
Absolutely.
You can't avoid it. Hello and welcome to the 6th week of Season 22, Season of the Witch, starting on September 26th, 2023. So for week 6, let's jump right in with our legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in Rio Silvia, and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The blind roll features Taken Enemies and the Plague Aina Mina. The Ascendant challenge this week will be Ouroboros, which can be located over in the Aphelios Rest Lost sector on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep, the Drove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare Resortal in Sorrow's Harbour. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and the Fanatic, Insanity. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Praxis the Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. For the 30th Anniversary expansion, Days of Eternity Legendary rounds are Hive, Fallen, and for the final round, Valis de Arc. The loot rotation will be on week 3's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set being available. The weapons available this week are the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Auto Rifle Chroma Rush, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Grenade Launcher Ignition Code, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle Grid Skipper, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Sidearm Farewell, the Solar Pinpoint Slug Frame Shotgun Sonja's Tail, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Machine Gun Shattered Cipher, the Arc Precision Frame Fusion Rifle Main Ingredient, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Long Shadow, the Arc Armor Adaptive Frame Sidearm Last Dance, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Shotgun Toil and Trouble, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Shotgun Wishbringer, and the Void Adaptive Frame Pulse Rifle Last Perdition. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Ritual, where the modifier is Fire Pit, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Also, this week you will have Altar of Reflection's Choice and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas armor, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is First Contact, with extra shields, locked loadouts, and extra champions. Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, Void Threat, Scorched Earth, Overcharged Weapons, Arc and Strand Surges, Overcharged Shotguns, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Hard Reset, Contest Mode enabled with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, Arc Threat, Scorched Earth, Pestilence and Martyr modifiers, Arc and Strand Shields, with Void and Strand Surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Liming Harbour. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon Exotic mission on the EDZ. For the Season of the Deep, all 3 fishing ponds are now exotic all week. Raids and Dungeons. The Crota's End Raid challenge this week is the second encounter, Cross the Bridge, called Precarious Balance. Guardians cannot step on the bridge while it is fully formed. Plus, if you complete the weekly challenge on Master, you'll get an Adept weapon. The Adept weapon you get is a random drop, but works on a knockout system. You will get a new one with every challenge you complete every week until you've unlocked them all. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Rok, called Looping Catalyst. This is where Guardians must not lose the Leeching Force buff before the damage phase. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Atheon, called Ensembler's Refrain. Each player teleported can only destroy 1 Oracle in each spawn set. The Deep Stone Crypt challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies, where you must not send any Atrax 1 replicant debuffs into the airlock/space. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Spy Defense, called A Link to the Chain. This is where all Guardians must receive the Enlighten buff at the same time. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Vault, called Keep Out. Guardians must ensure that no Might of Riven Knights make it to the Center Chamber during the Vault fight. Your Pinnacle raid will be Kingsfall over in the Legends tab, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the 1st encounter, Totems, called The Grass is Always Greener. Players cannot take the same brand type twice in a row. The 2nd encounter, War Priest, called Devious Thievery. Players must steal the brand of the initiate within a couple of seconds of taking the brand claimer's buff. The 3rd encounter, Golgoroth, called Gazer Maze. The gaze holder must stand in the pool of unclaimed light when swapping the gaze. The 4th encounter, Daughters of Oryx, called Under Construction. Players cannot stand on the same plate twice in a single phase. And the 5th encounter, Oryx, called Hands Off. Players must not kill the same Ogre or Light Eater Knight throughout the encounter. Also, with the Kingsfall being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic scout rifle, Touch of Malice. The Pinnacle dungeon will be the Grasp of Avarice over on the Cosmodrome, and our exotic mission rotator will be Operation Seraph Shield, with the Revision 0 exotic pulse rifle being the main reward. Craftable weapons available from this mission include the Stasis Aggressive Frame Linear Fusion Rifle, Fire and Forget, the Arc Lightweight Frame Bow, Tripwire Canary, the Stasis Aggressive Burst Pulse Rifle, Disparity, the Arc Adaptive Frame Trace Rifle, Path of Least Resistance, the Solar Aggressive Glaive, Judgment of Kelgoroth, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Machine Gun, Retrofit Escapade, the Void Precision Frame Hand Cannon, iCalos HC, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Shotgun, iCalos SG, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Sniper, iCalos SR, and the Arc Aggressive Frame Submachine Gun, iCalos SMG, with the Warmind's Avatar Armor Set. Next up, Challenges. Acolyte's Ascent 6. Complete Week 6 of the Bladed Path quest for Challenge XP. Luminary 3. Master the Light by defeating 300 combatants with Void, Arc or Solar damage. Earn bonus progress by affecting combatants with subclass abilities. Volatile, Blind and Scorch. 4. Challenge XP++. Sympathetic Magic. Defeat 100 combatants in Savathûn Spire using damage that matches your active subclass. 4. Challenge XP+. Bonebreaker. Crush 100 Lucent Hive Ghosts anywhere in Savathûn's Throne World. Earn bonus progress during the Season of the Witch activities. 4. Challenge XP. Mod Collector. Unlock 12 artifact mods. 4. Challenge XP++, and Bright Dust. Trial by Firing Squad. Win multiple rounds in Trials of Osiris. 4. Challenge XP++, Bright Dust, and a Trials weapon. Calibrate Long Range. Calibrate long range weapons. Pulse rifles, bows, and trace rifles. Bonus progress is granted for defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP+, and Bright Dust. And Heavy Hardware. Get final blows with heavy ammo in ritual activities. And bonus progress for machine gun final blows or by defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP++, and Bright Dust. Hello! As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions, and exotic armor you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you'll only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, September 26 will be Metamorphosis on the Throne World for exotic gauntlets, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc and Solar Shields, Scorched Earth modifier, Overcharged Machine Guns with Overload and Unstoppable champions. Wednesday, September 27th will be the K1 Revelations on the Moon for exotic chests, Void Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Fire Pit modifier, Overcharged Machine Guns with Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Thursday, September 28th will be the K1 Communion on the Moon for exotic helmets, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar and Void Shields, Arachno modifier, Overcharged Linear Fuse Rifles with Barrier and Overload champions. Friday, September 29th will be the K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon for exotic boots, Arc Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Solar Shields, Hot Knife modifier, Overcharged Glaives with Barrier and Overload champions. Saturday, September 30th will be the Concealed Void on Europa for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Arachno modifier, Overcharged Trace Rifles with Barrier and Overload champions. Sunday, October 1st will be Bunker E15 on Europa for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Shocker modifier, Overcharged Grenade Launchers with Barrier and Overload champions. And finally, back round to Monday, October 2nd will be Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Stalker Shield modifier, Overcharged Snipers with Unstoppable and Overload champions.
Lead the way.
Our sixth featured Nightfall of the season was Sith's face-off against Darkblade Kelgaroth, risen from the bone in the Heist Battlegrounds Mars, where you have a chance to get a pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall is free to play. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grand Masters. Legend and low Nightfalls will have 5 barrier and 6 unstoppable champions, with 40% solar, 40% arc, and 20% void shields. Masters and GMs will have 8 barrier and 9 unstoppable, with 40% solar, 40% arc, and 20% void shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are hero difficulty, maximum effective level 1765, matchmaking is available, enemies have extra shields, champions foe, you will face barrier and unstoppable champions. You can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Solar threat, 25% increase to incoming solar damage. Empath, enhanced radar, take increased damage from melee. Overcharged weapons, weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Solar and strand surges, 25% bonus to outgoing solar and strand damage. Overcharged machine guns, 25% bonus damage with machine guns. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment once the mission starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized and Empath. Join in progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions up to a maximum of 20. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. Fire pit, when defeated, acolytes spawn fireballs that cause damage over time. And Chafe, radar is disabled. To combat champions this season, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods, which are Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Anti-Barrier Bow, Unstoppable Scout Rifle, and Unstoppable Fusion. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Anti-Barrier, the Kinetic Bow Wishender, the Kinetic Linear Fusion Rifle Arbalest, the Kinetic Pulse Rifle Revision 0, the Solar Energy Hand Cannon Eriana's Vow, the Solar Heavy Sword The Lament, and the Titan Gauntlet's Second Chance, which gain a second charge of a shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. And for Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Kinetic Scout Rifle Touch of Malice, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, and the Hunter Gauntlet's Atheris's Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to attain this week will be the Solar Precision Frame Bow Pre-Astyanax 4. The Pre-Astyanax 4 has a base impact of 76, accuracy of 65 and stability of 40. It can roll with collective action, opening shot and explosive head, with enlightened action, perpetual motion and archer's tempo. It has the origin trait of stunning recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of health. And Wildcard. Final blows with the weapon have a chance to create experimental submunitions at the target's location. Lord Shaxx brings Team Scorch to the Crucible for the 6th week of the season. Team Scorch is a 6v6 PvP mode where all players wield a Scorch Cannon. Equipped weapons and abilities cannot be used in this game mode. Movement abilities, e.g. lift, jump and glide, sprinting and emotes can be used. Players are forced to use a Scorch Cannon that cannot be dropped. The Scorch Cannon has 100 ammo which is replenished on respawn. Matches have a 7-minute timer, players have a 3-second respawn timer, kills give plus 1 point each, the first team to reach 60 points wins. If the timer runs out before the team reaches 50 points, the team with the largest score wins. The player's current and longest kill streaks are shown at the top of the screen below the score. And Zone Control will also be available in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Zone Control is a 6v6 game mode which emphasises team-based gameplay in capturing zones and not kills. Zone Control forces players to collaborate more actively in capturing and defending zones. Capturing zones dramatically takes longer if only one player tries to do it themselves, with it taking 22.5 seconds to capture the point, whereas 2 can capture within 10 seconds. 3 or more players will capture the zone in 7.5 seconds. Beyond that, capturing a zone will net the team 1 point per capture, and holding on to the point will reward 2 points every 15 seconds per zone, making it essential to lock down areas rather than float between them carelessly. The first team to 125 points wins. Available in the Crucible Labs playlist this week will be the new game mode Checkmate Control. Checkmate Control is a modified version of Control, where rich primary weapon fights can happen more often, and gun skill can be augmented by communication and strong positioning. You will still have to capture the control point, but primary weapon damage has been tuned to feel a little differently from the rest of the game, without it being too jarring. This should reduce the gap between the faster killing weapons and the average time to kill, and in general pushing longer range primaries into the slower killing profiles. Players' health has been increased, but the passive regeneration of grenade, melee and class abilities has been reduced by 50%, and supers by 40%. You will also not spawn in with special ammo. Instead, you will have to earn it by generating points from kills, assists, deaths, zone captures and gathering heavy ammo. You won't lose points accumulated on death, and special ammo you earn persists through lives and rounds. Additionally, you do not drop special ammo on death. This all results in slightly longer combat encounters that reward skill and consistency.
Delightful!
And Saint 14 will be back at the weekend with Trials of Osiris Dominion, bringing with him a whole host of rewards for players who do make it to the lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory exotic Ship, the Survivor's Journey exotic Sparrow, a new armor set, and the new Trials shader, Bloodline Feud. Trials of Osiris Dominion is a 3v3 PvP high-stakes game mode with a twist of a capture point. In Dominion, 2 teams of 3 go head-to-head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point, or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday Reset until Tuesday Weekly Reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought-after weapons and armor. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked to a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hangar of the tower. Winning rounds and matches in Trials of Osiris will grant exclusive weapons, armor, pinnacle gear, masterwork materials, and even adept gear for the most skilled players who can reach the lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won and no losses. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. By competing in trials, you do have a chance to pick up 2 pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset.
That is amazing.
And that's it for week 6 of Season of the Witch. By Art Guardians.
Guardian down.
And there we go. Now you
do.
know.
So this week saw the new game mode of it's Countdown, isn't it? It's not Countdown.
Checkpoint.
Checkmate. That was
Yeah.
it. Checkmate
Countdown,
Control.
Checkpoint, Checkmate. One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the checkpoint modifier.
Yeah, Checkmate modifier.
Right. Thank you.
We'll get
Check
there in the
something.
end.
Checkpoint, checkmate. There's some checking involved, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, this week saw the new game mode of Checkmate Control. Did you jump into it, Peroty or Hawkslayer? Because Respawn obviously hasn't.
Nope.
I have not been able to play because I've been driving to and from the body shop every day after work because I haven't had a car now for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you have.
Look, you've got a crane. Deal with it. Peroty,
No,
what about you?
He's got a car. He's got a
Crane-
car.
Crane's got a flat.
It's a little
Shut up, Respawn.
Challenger with a little beep beep horn.
I really haven't touched PvP this season other than Iron Banner.
Mm.
Not from lack of interest, but just from lack of time. I'd like to play with it. I've seen some people, some of the PvP people I follow online go, this feels good. This is what we wanted. Like this is the, gunplay focused, again, Call of Duty style, for lack of a better term, PvP that people have been asking for.
Really?
No,
That's what they wanted.
I think Kami Cakes was it Kami Cakes or the other cakes? I'm drawing a blank now. I don't know. I was scrolling through my Twitter Destiny list and I just saw some people being like, "This is nice. Like this feels like Destiny PvP, but not Destiny PvP. Like gunplay focused PvP."
Oh.
But you haven't experienced it yourself.
Nope,
No.
I have not.
See, I've played about 5 games. I gave it, a good go, I think, of 5 games, and I changed up with what weapons I was playing with. I used auto rifles, fusion rifles, hand cannons. What else was there? Scout rifles, and I know they said that it wasn't jarring, or it's not meant to be jarring for people's use to those kind of weapons. But for me, I found it jarring. And the only way that I could actually kind of play the game mode was with a hand cannon. So I can see that a lot of the YouTubers, and there's a couple of videos that I've got this week that point hand cannons, like the hand cannons in this checkmate kind of mode, are really good. 3 taps to the head and that's it. If you've got an ace of spades, which is what I swapped to, Memento Mori, it does even more. And it's like it rewards you for that precision hit. I used an auto rifle and I was just getting precision hit after precision hit. And it didn't feel the same way as it would normally do in normal Crucible. Somebody with a hand cannon was easily able to melt me down quicker. And I'm like, I'm not sure about this. Scout rifle wasn't too bad from a distance. Again, I was still getting mapped with hand cannons again. So I'm not sure if if it's just me or if they haven't got the balance just right. Because I feel if I'm on like the other side of the map and I'm shooting somebody in the head with a scout rifle, their hand cannon drop-off range should be a lot like closer to them than it should be to me, and not be dying as much as I was. So I just wondered if you guys had played it, but I'll give it another go because we've got another week of it this week before it then moves into survival, and then 2 weeks after that it's then going into Rumble, which I could probably see a little bit better of people enjoying a lot more. So we'll see how it plays out and see if you guys can get in it next week and give it a go and see how you feel with various different weapons. The special ammo thing was quite good, so that you start off with no special ammo. And I didn't think about it until I kind of watched a video. I think it was Cool Guy or somebody, or maybe it was a podcast, was saying, just run double primaries until you get to the point where it says that the bar's nearly filled up, because you have like a little bar, a bit like you have when you go into Crota and you're filling up that bar with the chalice, and it's a little blue bar. So when you get your captures, if you get a kill, if you pick up heavy, it all kind of contributes to this little blue bar that pops up. And then I was running Jotun at one point, so once I filled up the bar, it gave me 2 ammo for the Jotun, which was quite nice. And then you can just store that up. You can just keep getting the kills and the captures and picking up the heavy, and it will keep generating this bar, and you keep that special ammo, which was quite nice. So when I got to the end of the game, I had like, I don't know, about 10 Jotun shots that I could have just used, even when I was dying, because you still keep that ammo, which was quite nice. So people that slay out with their hand cannons, things that, you know, they could have something like a Jotun and just save it all up towards the end and just go to town. But supers wasn't too bad. They were kind of being popped towards the end of the match, which was quite nice. You just suddenly went, oh, yeah, there go with the supers. You suddenly heard them all go across the map. Like everybody got them all at the same time. But what I was finding was that there was a lot of kind of people were saying that in like their reviews of it, that they weren't seeing too much of like grenade and melee. But I don't know whether it was kind of just my luck that I was running into that. You know, there's a lot of warlocks throwing out flaming like fireballs and knives being thrown by hunters and things like that, rather than the gunplay to start off with. But it's just every corner I turned, I seemed to run into like a grenade or a melee ability that was just kind of, it's like, well, I thought this was meant to be tuned to like you use it and then it's all gone. Or was I the person that it was just all used on when they saw me coming around the corner, kind of thing? Could have
So
been
how
me.
were you using Ace of Spades and the toaster?
Well, no, I was swapping.
Also, some people are very upset that you use the toaster. I am one of them. Also, fun fact for those of you that don't know, Memento Mori, it translates to remember to die. So, a little fun fact for that gun. You know?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
I'm confused how you were confused over the Ace. Oh, right, because they're both exotic.
Yeah,
Never
they're
mind.
both exotics, that's why.
I was thinking MO, and
Brady
I was
really
like,
hasn't played in a minute.
I'm sitting here we were talking about ammunition, and I was like, but they use different ammo types, right? Also, it's an exotic hand cannon. Other than the malfeasance, none of them exist.
See, I could also see with like the checkmate variable mode part thing is it wouldn't matter if you put on all like 2 exotics, as long as they were kind of stuck to the one was primary ammo and one was secondary ammo and one was heavy, because you could probably get away with that in that kind of game mode.
Can you?
But you can't. But what I'm saying is it would probably work, because if I put on the Ace of Spades and the Jotun, it wouldn't matter, because I would still have to use that to get the special ammo.
I think the problem is they're exotic, so the special perks on them, if you have more than one at a time, you could be pretty overpowered, you know? So that's probably why you don't have more than one exotic. It's not because of the ammo types.
You have to work to get that exotic. Or that ammo, sorry.
Oh, for the special, you mean? Okay.
Yeah. So it wouldn't matter if you had an exotic on or not in your secondary as well as your primary.
Are there any exotics that have passive mods on there that help you even if you're not using it? Probably not. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I was playing on my Hunter for one point, and I used Lucky Pants and Last Word. That was quite good. Yeah, that worked.
Lucky Pants Ace of Spades is pretty good too.
I know. And I had at one point I had Ace of Spades and the Word of Crota with Lucky Pants. So I tried that combo. That was all right.
Oh, that the void hand cannon. Yeah.
The 180 from the raid.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite cool. But yeah, so your homework for next week: go and try out Checkmate, and then come back and report to us what your findings are. You two.
Get slaughtered in Checkmate. Got it.
Yeah. Put down the last descendants, whatever it is, and go and play some Destiny.
I only have it till Tuesday, so don't worry.
Oh,
Tuesday
good.
goes away again.
Well, yeah, you're all set then.
Mm-hmm.
So should we talk about this week in Destiny, or the TWAB for the 21st of September 2023?
Yes.
Yeah, there's some things that happened.
There are.
You know what happened last week? all the things we told you about last week. We're not going to tell you again this week.
No.
But this week, we're going to talk about the craftening. Also,
that's what they call it, the craftening.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
The craftening, the Jump Master campaign having landed, crafting shenanigans, deterministic recoil. What is it, and why is it so heckin' cool? More secrets in the Savathûn Spire. So we heard you wanted a Thorn catalyst. Speaking of exotic hand cannons, the Pale Heart, it still awaits. It's still out there. The team had a little too much fun with the new supers, and we got some teaser video of that. And then if you wanted to hang out with your new Hive God, rocking some lo-fi beats, Eris has got you hooked up. There's a Prime Gaming update, and you can then yeet the Smolin. Because you should. You should yeet them far and wide. I'd ask Respawn if he wants to tell us about For Veterans by Veterans, but he probably has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I have it open. So.
Well, there you go. Tell us about the veterans and what you can do or not do.
On Tuesday, the Bungie Foundation launched a veteran-focused campaign in partnership with Team Rubicon to show support for those who serve and help provide humanitarian aid to communities facing crisis. The campaign, which runs until the end of Season 22, features an all-new emote designed in collaboration with the veteran Bungie employees called Jumpmaster. All profits from the emote, available now in the Eververse, will be split equally between Bungie Foundation and Team Rubicon. Now, anybody who's ever seen the last 2 movies of the Hunger Games, this is a very bad emo. I know it's supposed to be the Jumpmaster. I get that for military. But this is also exactly what it looked like when the president from District 13 dropped all the bombs on the innocent people. So, yeah. Anyway, in addition to the emote, the Bungie Foundation premiered their Clearing the Path film. This emotional story highlights the partnership with Team Rubicon, a special wildfire mitigation operation that Bungie employees and veterans took part in, as well as the personal story of our own veterans. Take 7 minutes to watch the video and learn how Team Rubicon... Yeah, 7? Okay. And learn how Team Rubicon and the Bungie Foundation are supporting veterans and helping rebuild communities before and after disaster strikes. Watch the full film and get more details on the campaign in last Tuesday's blog post. That's it.
Well, there we go. I saw, unfortunately, after the fact that I guess Bungie was looking for some players and veterans to sort of partner with, like revealing this film last Tuesday. And Native Raider from the Blueberry Lounge podcast was one of those chosen, and he sort of, streamed it live when it went live and talked about it. So, just a reminder, go follow our lovely friends over at the Blueberry Lounge. And the full video I watched earlier this week, again, unfortunately missed his preview of it, but watch the full video of just, Bungie talking about what they're doing on the ground to help, in this case, clear 27,000 cubic feet of just rubble and debris and, cleaning up from the latest round of wildfires that happened in Maui. So they're just, Bungie do these charitable organization things, through the Bungie Foundation and their partnership with Team Rubicon multiple times a year as things happen. It's just, another example of them, putting this money that they're raising both through our donations and through all these lovely little, giveaways and things that they make, just, putting that into real, actionable good works in the world. Then it's time to talk about the craftening. It was a larger problem than anticipated. Am it right?
I thought the crafting was fun. I hope they do it more often. I didn't see it as a problem. I saw it as an opportunity.
Well, it's a problem for the stability of the game and for the game falling over and not performing how it's meant to, saying, we built this game with this, with a particular set of restraints and understandings, and now that's completely out the window.
A particular set of skills.
To say nothing of trying to balance any amount of PvP, which is just impossible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I got taken down multiple times in Crucible by an audit, and that sucker looked like a dadgum shotgun whenever I was flying through the air.
Yeah, that's because it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I jumped into trials long enough to play like 2 or 3 matches last weekend. On the off chance they do one of those, hey, you had to be there when emblem drops sometime later, and yeah, like there is no PvP. There is only whoever gets seen first, and then you're wiped off the map immediately.
That's exactly like Laser Tag Weekend, except Bungie gave everyone access to the same gun, so everybody could buy it. And then again, it was the same. Whoever saw who first, right? Only difference is
It took
the
slightly
wacky
longer
guns
to
people
kill
were
you.
coming up with that did way worse things than Laser Tag Weekend.
Yeah. So we talked about the last week or so. What happened? What might they do to fix it? Well, Bungie gave us a little bit of a preview or I guess post view now. They talked about what the problem was and what they did to fix it and all the things they tried to do to fix it. So I mean, the first thing is how did this even happen? So there was a previous bug that they had patched, which allowed stale data from other crafting recipes to sort of bleed over into places where they weren't supposed to be. So that allowed crafty players to move traits from one recipe to another. So that's how we got where we are. Again, you're trying to fix a problem. It unfortunately uncovers another problem. And we were. Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Peroty. How do people find out about it? Because people don't sit there and purposely lag their game to find out, oh, well, Bungie made this patch. Let's try this random thing that nobody's ever tried before to see if that does a thing, right?
Or probably because somebody
had to have leaked it.
Well, probably because somebody was playing on an older console on a slower connection, went to go craft a weapon and was like, hold on now. Why does this have... How did that happen?
You really think it was that coincidental and it spread like that?
Yeah,
I will say this.
Because that's what Bungie said is because we were speculating, when did they know about this? And Bungie says, we learned about this problem on Friday. So this wasn't one of those and again, this is egregious enough. This has not been out in the world for a long time without a lot of people seeing it and reporting it. This isn't one of those that seemed like a little quick to kill me. That's why is that auto rifle shooting rockets and like a trillion bullets from afar?
I'm okay with both of those things.
What were we going to say, Hawkslayer?
Yeah, I also found out that you could do this if you were playing on like the old original white Xbox One and running off a hotel Wi-Fi. It worked pretty well that way.
Nitedemon couldn't do it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do it here either, but I also didn't switch. I had an older, just a 1X, but I didn't have the OG Xbox One, nor did I take my connection to cellular or something crummy. But I figured, other people can have fun with it.
Actually, my cell phone hotspot is faster than my hotel Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah, it's hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah. So I mean, and that sort of answered our question. We were saying, how long has this been a thing? When did Bungie learn? They're like, yeah, we learned about it on Friday and worked over the weekend to, try to put a short-term fix into place first, so they wouldn't have to, I'm sure in their minds, delay the Crota Master Raid launch and trials and everything else that this was going to obviously cause some problems with. So they put in a two-part fix. First off, they have a short-term fix, which is this live update process they talk about, which basically lets them modify content in the live game. However, it can only touch content and not code, which are two different things, and the code is where the actual bug was they needed to fix. There's also a number of other limits to this live update process. The first being that there's a size limit. It's basically, they're pushing this patch live, but there's a limit size. They don't say what the size limit is, but it's something fairly small. 2, it only allows for modifying content, not adding new things. And they basically compare it to saying, if you have a spreadsheet, you've got your rows and your columns, you can change what's in those rows and columns, but you can't add new ones. It also changes the UI, but only in very specific ways, which they don't go into. But there's, some limitations on what they can do. I assume it's something like, like they can basically turn off, when they need to stop us from using one particular item, they can say, well, let me just turn off the ability in the UI to equip this weapon or equip this piece of armor. That's how they can sort of disable the one thing. And also, they can only have one single live update active at a time, and it must include all previous live update changes as well as the change they're trying to make. So it's sort of a, break glass solution, but there's a lot of caveats to what they can actually do with this. And obviously, this was a huge problem to solve, potentially affecting every crafted weapon and every crafted perk. And they did not want to disable every weapon in the game. That was the goal anyway. They said, we really don't want to do this if we don't have to. So they went after 2 options for their live update. One, which was, can we disable all crafted or enhanced weapons? And or disable perks from being active on crafted or enhanced weapons. So the first try, they said, let's see if we can create some gating logic so you can, they could toggle on and off in case things broke even more. but it needed to support both the crafted and enhanced weapons, which are, I guess, built very differently, underneath, how they're built and coded. So they said they tried that fix first. Weapons appeared to be disabled in the UI, but some behaviors of the weapon were still active. And they didn't really have time to test whether this was, safe or not to deploy. But there was also...
I can answer that question for you.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. So they were saying that there was also an unequip function, which my autocorrect changed the wording of, which confused me for a moment. Yeah, so there was an unequip function which exists for items, so we're basically giving them the ability to forcefully unequip things, which just flat out didn't work. So they couldn't use that to say, don't equip these things. So disabling weapons, that wasn't going to work. Take one out the window. Take two, they said, can we focus on the perks? So they're still limited by, file size for this live update. And there's a lot of perks. There's a lot of perks in the game. So they said, let's just focus.
Attacked the shotgun one first, so people would stop using that. I see.
Well, they focused on every intrinsic and trait perk, ignoring the barrels and magazines. Mm-hmm. So they basically said, barrels and magazines, those are problematic, but less problematic than your intrinsic and your trait perks. Again, this was a short-term fix, so it didn't have to fix everything. So they also will try to set a tooltip behavior so things would appear disabled, so players would see a visual indicator in the game of, hey, this thing is disabled, you can't use it. But again, due to sort of the specific UI changes they can do with these live updates, it wasn't clear whether this would actually function. And also at the end of building all this, the patch was too large, so they couldn't deploy it. So that's take two out the window. So, all right, back to the drawing board. Let's start over. And again, this is all happening over the weekend. So they're like, okay. So to avoid the UI failure, they didn't want to modify the visibility settings of the perks because it was unclear how that would, play out. So they lowered the scope of the perks targeted since, time was short and they needed to get this patch hopefully fixed so they wouldn't have to delay the master raid and trials and all these other things. So they knew that some of the perk combinations, but not all the perk combinations, would be addressed by this fix. So if you, and they knew obviously if you just disable some of them, like going after the shotguns, people would just move on to the things that were still working. So they did put this fix into place, basically saying we're going after this. They just say limited the scope of the perks targeted. They don't specify which ones, and just said let's at least put this into place. Let's see what happens. That was updated and pushed out on Sunday. And so while they can kick everybody from the game while they do a live update, they opted not to. So there was still they basically pushed a rolling update. So if you logged into the game after this was pushed out, you were seeing this fix. But if you were just in the game, you weren't seeing the fix yet until they said at some point, they either, I'm sure they set some kind of timer and said eventually by whatever time we're going to kick you and make you log back in to apply this fix. Or as people just naturally logged off and logged back in, it would apply the fix for them. So that was pushed out Sunday. That's in place. Things are hunky-dory for the most part. And now the hard part, the code fix. So the code fix, they needed to break down into 4 major parts. First off is just, stop the exploit so new weapons can't be created. And I'm going to use their terminology of illegal and legal weapons. So basically determine how to separate the illegally crafted weapons from the legal ones. And then figure out how to move the illegally crafted weapons into legality. So, if you did craft an illegal weapon, you're not left with nothing. They're not going to take the gun away from you. They're just going to change it so it is something that, you could have crafted. Basically just, give it a set of perks that you should be able to apply to it. And then find ways to validate the work to make sure they weren't taking any of the legally crafted weapons and changing those in some way. Because if people came back to their game and grabbed their favorite weapon out of the vault and said, wait a minute, why are the perks different now? That would have been a whole nother set of issues to go through. So basically, they went through a bunch of iterations, tested this, got a fix in place. After the fix was ready, it was going to be applied to tens of thousands of accounts. And they needed a way to catch any edge cases or roll back or figure out, hey, did we touch a gun we shouldn't, or did we miss a gun that we shouldn't have missed? So couple rounds of that, and they credit the reporting basically infrastructure they've built with some of these recent server upgrades they've done, which allowed them to actually say hey, when we push this patch out, give me a report so we can sort of go manually through and see, did we miss something, did we touch something we shouldn't have, and be able to actually understand what this was doing and to be able to confidently say, no, we didn't take your favorite, peace of mind pulse rifle and ruin it, or no, we didn't leave your Amit AR2 with a shotgun perk on it. So push that out Sunday. Fingers crossed. Hopefully everything's good. So that was the issue. That was the fix. And now we should be back into a world where if you go flawless this weekend in trials and get the hand cannon, you did it without wacky crazy guns. And Crota now maybe stands a chance. Maybe.
No,
he really doesn't. But that was the long and short of all that. And you're welcome for me condensing there many, many more words than that. But I thought it was interesting. And many of you, if you wanted to fall asleep, now is a good time. Just put me on and just doze off while I'm talking about
if you
bug
wanted them to
fixes.
sleep, you should have had Nitedemon read that.
I'm just saying, if you're bored by all this talk, just clip this, set it aside, fall asleep by it. And but this was pushed out. And Bungie did say after the fact through Bungie Help, we're still working on edge cases regarding the weapon crafting exploit. As a temporary measure, they've disabled the option to reshape enhanced raid adept weapons to prevent further exploits. So if you have an enhanced raid adept weapon, you cannot reshape it currently. This is still one of the couple of edge cases of they're still working on a fix, and that was as the 21st, so 2 days ago. So again, fix most of the things, and of course this is also while the DDoS attack is still ongoing and they're fighting that, and so I mean they did this over a weekend. So again, I mean good work all around. Created these 2 fixes, pushed them out over the weekend, and now we're back to Destiny being Destiny.
Right.
So what does deterministic recoil mean? Does anybody know? Anybody have a clue?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, well, Chris Proctor's here to tell you. They talked about a preview a couple weeks back about changing the recoil on weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to do it. So starting in Season 22, all of the following weapons with a Season 22 or later watermark, that's that little icon in the corner, will have what they call deterministic recoil. So that's auto rifles, pulse rifles, scout rifles, submachine guns, sidearms, hand cannons, trace rifles, and machine guns. Basically, all full auto weapons as well as burst fire and semi-automatic weapons that fire primary ammo. So basically, if it fires primary ammo, they're going to touch it. I guess some of the, some of the outliers probably being things like the Fighting Lion, because I don't see grenade launchers on the list and it shoots primary, but basically their whole goal with this is the weapons will recoil in a predictable way with sustained fire, allowing players to learn the patterns and compensate for them. The TLDR over this whole deterministic recoil thing is, for years how we've said that bullets are RNG, recoil is RNG, everything is sort of a random number generator based on, accuracy cones and things. This is basically their effort to get away from that, is to actually have a recoil pattern that will change like as the weapon moves through its magazine. And they say, this will enable players to truly master weapons in a way that wasn't possible with a standard Destiny 2 recoil, which has a fair amount of randomness to it. So, here's how it works. It's basically a weapon is set up with a few possible recoil patterns. The weapon will always start with the first pattern. Most of the time, it'll run through this recoil pattern until you stop firing for long enough to basically let the weapon recoil and accuracy reset completely. So, if you fire through your entire clip, you stop, you reload, it's going to sort of reset that pattern to whatever its default is. They say occasionally it's somewhere in the first half of the magazine, it'll switch to the second pattern. So basically, as you're sustaining fire, you're going to get sort of a second pattern. Each bullet fired has a small amount of randomness to it, but this is basically working to remove sort of some of that randomness. The entire pattern shifts left and right depending on the weapon's recoil, with the higher value, sort of what we talked about last week, the higher recoil value and direction, the smaller your horizontal spacing, putting your bullets closer together. But even with that pattern, basically, they want this to be recognizable. And they do have a video here that sort of goes through what they're talking about. It's like 30 seconds. Basically, this whole thing is getting recoil patterns of weapons to be something recognizable. So if you're trying to land Chris, if you're trying to land headshots, you can learn sort of how these weapons are going to function, not, oh hey, I put this bullet what should have been his head and it missed by a half a mile. So that's their whole plan around this. And again, like they do have a video in the TWAB here explaining Use the Abyss Defiant High Impact Auto Rifle with an 86 recoil and 25 stability. So you can sort of see the randomness of each bullet, and which I'm not going to try to explain to you in words because that's insanity. But if you're interested, go check out the TWAB and look at their video.
Happen at Peroty? Is there something in game that's showing us this, or like when we're making the gun, or when we're viewing the gun? How do we see this deterministic pattern that they're talking about?
The pattern, like they don't say, like I mean, it's basically when you like once this rolls out and once we start firing with these weapons, we're going to sort of see how they behave. Like they don't really go into a lot of detail about what the pattern is.
We already do that. I mean, you can see where your weapon's running. So I'm just curious, like, what the hell this all means.
It's basically what you see should
good,
be. I mean, they're basically saying what you see should be a little more like it should be a little more consistent. It should be if you have 6 auto rifles, like if you have 6 Emmett AR2s crafted the same way, they're with similar perks for stability and things, they should sort of fire and react all sort of the same way. If you've got a bunch of auto rifles with an 86 recoil and 25 stability on them, or right about there, the pattern they fire in should be basically the same. It shouldn't be a whole lot of wild variation of, oh, those bullets are going all over the place because of the RNG of every single time you fire. So,
but that okay.
This is one of those, like, basically their whole goal around this is when you learn a weapon, they want that weapon to feel consistent.
Yeah, and but so, like in real life, in video games, okay, forget real life, but even in all video games, there's a random.
Don't bring your real life in here.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you fire a gun, IRL, unless you're taking the time to stop, reset your breath, reset your aim, all that other stuff, those bullets are not gonna land in the exact same spot more than once. Otherwise you would just have the one hole for every shot that you fired, meaning not multiple holes for every round, but just the one hole that every round is going through. It's not how that works. But whatever.
Well, I mean, this isn't real life, so I don't know what to tell you.
I know, it's space magic, BS nonsense, shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, I think basically, I think they talked about last time. Right now, there's sort of like recoil is sort of the same across the game. Like every weapon type sort of has the same like understanding of recoil, and they want to tune those. So I think part of this is the weapons will feel different. Like if you have an 86, 86 stability. I'm sorry, a scout rifle with 86 recoil and 25 stability, and an auto rifle and a pulse rifle, they're going to feel a little bit different. They're going to have a little bit different patterns. It's not all the same thing, but as they roll this out and we start playing with it, it will be like, okay, I understand how this works, or okay, this weapon feels different now, but I don't know. It's meant to make it feel more consistent. I don't have more details because they don't give us more details.
Gotcha.
But there was a little bit of Q&A with Chris Proctor, because people are going to ask, why don't fusion rifles, shotguns, and sniper rifles get this treatment? Well, the fusion recoil isn't as big a factor in the randomness, and they are more dependent on the accuracy cone growth, which is what we found when we set up on fusion rifles, is that you can tell there isn't any predictability to the recoil because of the accuracy places the bullets so randomly. Shotguns get fixed pellet spreads instead, which they sort of touched that before with the shotguns and all of the various shotgun pellet spread talk that we talked about. Basically, go watch Fallout Play's channel and he'll tell you all about how these random things work.
Oh, he's already got a video on this? Oh, you should have led with that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he has a video on this piece. I'm talking about the shotgun thing, like the shotgun pellet spreads and accuracy and angles, which I think we linked last week. But if not, Fallout Play's channel, he has videos of going over all of these like bullet spread and angle and basically explaining technically how all this stuff works. And basically they say technically your deterministic recoil would work on shotguns, but you wouldn't really feel it in the most cases. So why bother making a change? No one's going to notice. Making sniper rifles recoil predictable isn't something we're comfortable doing at this point. It would likely make any follow-up shots too easy, with the accuracy cone growth doesn't have a large enough impact on snipers for it to feel safe. So basically saying if they did this to sniper rifles, it would make them laser beams. It would make them way too easy to land multiple crits like in PvP, and you would wipe the whole team and be dead. And right now you need to have skill and luck on your side to do that.
Yeah, okay.
So does the recoil pattern reset on a full magazine? Well, no, it resets if you stop firing long enough for the weapon to fully settle, basically meaning its accuracy cone has gone back to its default resting state. So basically, if you keep firing and roll through the magazine, it'll do its thing. But if you stop firing and run, go hide in the cover, or just move on to the next encounter, it'll reset itself. Sort of, which is how it works today. But again, how long does that take? I don't know. It takes as long as it does. Typically, when you reload, the weapon is idle for long enough for this to happen. So basically, yeah, it happens on reloads, or if you just stop firing long enough for it to sort of reset itself, which you can, I don't know. I feel like when you're using a weapon, you can sort of tell, like when it starts to jump around more or less, depending on what the weapon is you've crafted or what the weapon is you have
which
and how
direction it's going, all that other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like how it feels. So when you know how it feels when you lock in and you get those perks going, you're just landing those crispy headshots, or you're hitting those crits on the boss versus, okay, hold on, we're getting there, we're getting tuned in, and now we're good. So same idea as that. What happens if I keep refilling my magazine while continuously firing? The implementation we've used has no upper limit on the recoil pattern. For example, firing an auto rifle with the Actium War Rig or another magazine refill method won't cause any weirdness. So it should work no matter what your size is, whether you're using the reconstruction with a bunch of rounds or something that refills the magazine. If you've got a belt-fed, sweet business you're rocking, it should all work. Knock on wood. And they asked about, are there any security implications to this feature? It was a very important feature, not to be exploited. Weapon design worked with game security on this implementation to ensure that we achieve the goal of allowing players greater mastery of weapons without allowing recoil to be predictable enough to be exploitable. So they settled on 3 different prioritizations. A predictable pattern, but standard randomization in accuracy and air angle. So while the pattern is predictable, each bullet will land in a slightly different position each time. So there is a low chance to branch a different pattern in the first half of the magazine. So basically, this is their attempt to say any attempt to automate and compensate for this will randomly fail. So basically, like if you're trying to set up a macro to do something exactly, they randomize the bullets just enough. It's not going to work every single time. So you can't just set up a macro to go do a thing over and over and over and over to farm a thing. It's going to randomly fail because they're going to move things just enough, not really enough to be noticeable, but just enough if you do the exact same, completely down to the micrometer movement, it's going to fail randomly. Basically, we don't want you using macros to do things. If you're a human, you'll be good.
I have lost audio. I repeat, I have lost audio.
No, you haven't. It's fine. And then finally, they have a server-side flag to turn all of this off just in case they put this in place and go, whoa, things are working how we don't expect them to. They've got a flag they can basically turn on and off to say, put things back the way they were. Just kidding. We'll work on this later. And
cool. So they added in a failsafe.
Yep, exactly. And so they say, hopefully this, basically, hopefully it gives you into some insight into why the season 22 weapons feel a little bit different. They'll continue to monitor recoil in the live game as well as feedback. Blah blah blah. As always, if things act weird and feel bad, tell them about it nicely. If things don't act weird and feel good, yay! And remember, this is all like season 22 weapons forward. So anything you already have and have already crafted or already picked up in the game, that's not going to change. It's the season 22 stuff, the brand new stuff moving forward. So if you're like, why does these new weapons feel a little bit different than a very similar older weapon that I have? That's why. Curiosity may kill the cat, but what about the Guardian? You've been exploring the Spire, and you've discovered its deepest secrets. The mystical arcane chambers where Savathun turned trickery into power. You're free to explore, but try not to become a victim of your own curiosity. Pay extra attention as you make your way through the Season of the Witch starting this week, Guardians. Some surprises are still waiting to be uncovered, and not all are easy to spot. So what this tells me is go to YouTube, look up videos of the secrets I'm missing, and go find them. Got it.
Well, I have another question now. Is there a cat involved?
There might be. Never rule out that there's a cat. We got a doggo. We could get a kitty cat.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We should.
We have a doggo. Now we need a kitty cat. What are they going to add in next? A daggone capybara?
I would love a capybara. If I could have a capybara mount, I would win the game. I'd be done. That's it. Give me a capybara. Come on, Bungie. Capybara. Capybara Sparrow.
Yeah, imagine if you could get a sparrow with a side by side with a capybara in it, like a little helmet and goggles. Oh, I'd put like $25 in pure silver just in that.
I need a capybara friend. Is a capybara big enough and strong enough to hold extra magazines? That's the question.
Oh, absolutely.
It would definitely be chill enough and calm under pressure. No question about that.
Yeah, but it's not going to be able to keep up with all of our flying, bouncing shenanigans we have going on. Like, you'll be sprinting over to the other side of the map, and then you'll look on the complete opposite side, and your slow little capybara slowly just moseying its way on over. Not a care in the world.
Yeah, because the capybara is not concerned by bullets or incoming fire. The capybara is just
No.
chill going, listen, I'll get there. It'll be fine. You also know what's going to get there at some point? Thorn Catalyst. Everyone's favorite poisoning hand cannon. Going to get a lovely Thorn Catalyst, which apparently is going to grant bonus range and stability, dealing a final blow or absorbing a remnant. Grants additional increased weapon range as well as increased mobility and handling for a short time. So shoot weapon, create little remnant, poison, goo ball, pick that up, have even a better weapon to create more. So while I'm excited for this, I'm less excited to see it coming back in the Crucible as people play with it again and work on the Catalyst.
Well, is it going to increase the fire rate, and is it going to increase the damage?
Bonus range and stability, as well as increased mobility and handling. So not damage, but range and stability. So I can hit you harder for farther away, and the weapon has a recoil direction of 100, so perfectly beautiful vertical recoil, and it's a 140 RPM hand cannon with a 9 in the mag. So it's again, I'm excited for the Thorn to get a catalyst. I still have some old scars of playing against Thorn in D1 where it was everywhere. So while I'm excited, excited and fearful all at the same time.
I was about to say, which scars are worse, the Thorn or the Last Word?
Oh, Thorn, 100%. 100%. Poison everywhere and the tick damage, so they could track your movement in addition to poisoning you. 100% Thorn. No question. Last Word is there, but honestly, I grouped that into every other hand cannon going, oh, a hand cannon killed me. Yeah, whatever. A thorn, you knew when a Thorn killed you.
Yeah, because everything turned green and then it turned black.
Mm-hmm. And then it was all downhill from there. And Bungie once again wants to remind us that the final shape is coming, and they have a Pale Heart of the Traveler preview video. It's 44 seconds, so watch it or don't. They still want you to pre-order Final Shape. It's coming. They just want to remind us that it exists, and you should do that. I'm sort of dilly-dallying, waiting for Respawn's audio so he can either have opinions or not have opinions on these new supers. Have you seen any of these new super previews?
No. When can I watch it? Because I was asking you earlier where you saw that at.
I have seen all the previews.
Yeah, it was very confusing because they tweeted out that, hey, there's a preview video, but when I followed the link, it took me just to the main Bungie page. So somewhere along the way, I got some of the URL stripped, and I'm going, okay, well, clearly there's a preview video, but not for me. So now they have them all nicely here embedded into the TWAB, and they're spicy. I want to be really excited about the Titan one, but honestly, I'm really excited about the Warlock one.
Don't you mean the Hunter?
No, the Hunter I'm just dreading playing against, because although to be fair, I'm also excited for the Hunters to yeet themselves off of maps, throwing the thing and then teleporting to that location and realizing they're off the map. So I'm enjoying that for them. But watching that Solar Buddy and the Warlock just being like, you get fire and you get fire and you get fire and here's some fire for you, like that more than the other two just scream power fantasy to me. Like I know it's sort of very similar to just the Warlock Solar Kit and it's not like a flashy, super exciting, thing to preview. But looking at the gameplay, I'm just like, oh, I want little fire birdies to make everyone die. I want a solar buddy. Like I'm excited to play with this Song of Flame and this Hellion solar aspect.
It looks like it's just sending out multiple fire grenades. Like every couple of seconds, that fire buddy's sending out like a fire grenade. It's not like the other ones where it just goes pew 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 and then it shoots out like a little bit of arc stuff. That looks like a solar grenade.
No, it's a kamikaze phoenix. Get it right.
It's a tiny Jotun that sits on your shoulder and shoots people.
No.
Oh my god! No, that's exactly what it is. Phoenix. Oh my god, that's exactly what it is. Oh, these just get. Oh man, imagine somebody with that and wielding the Jotun. No, that's it. I'm uninstalling Destiny.
Did you catch it? Did you catch in the clip where it fired over the Titan's tall barricade as well?
Yeah.
It saw it and just hopped right over it because it's a little birdie and goes, no, that one won't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that's going to be one of the first loadouts that Nitedemon tries.
I don't know. He's got loads of good options. So
yes, but just for trolling purposes, he has to.
Well, that's fair. So the Hunter, we've got the Storm Edge Super, and then the Ascension Arc aspect, and I'm a little confused at the Super because sometimes you can tell like. It seems like you jump up, you throw a knife, and then you can teleport to where that knife is, and then like
you can murder everything near it. That's the Super. So you jump up, you throw a knife, you teleport to it, and you spin in a circle. Right? You do that 3 times. The aspect lets you twirl your stripper stick in the air, and you fly up like a little helicopter.
Okay, yeah, because I was watching it and going, so sometimes you teleport to where the knife is, and sometimes you don't, or you can choose. I couldn't quite tell if it was you had a choice over that, or if you just teleported every single time and I wasn't following the video right.
When you throw the knife, you go where it teleports. Like somebody said, it's a Noctis attack from Final Fantasy 15. If anybody gets a reference besides just us two.
Maybe.
Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 is a character that throws his weapon, actually throws a dagger, right? It's the only one he can do it with. There's this dagger that they can throw, and then they can teleport to that dagger. And that's exactly what the Hunter's doing. So, good reference.
I'm really excited to see people lend themselves off the edge still, and I think it's going to be fun. But I think that again, I've always struggled with like any of the blink or any of that movement stuff where you go into the abyss and then come out again, and now you're over there. So I couldn't do this, and this feels like even more drunken toddler to me. But I'm excited for other people who can move like that to enjoy it.
On the other hand, I, believe it or not, am more excited about anything else is the Titan Super. Because I want to, as a hunter, pick up and wield the Titan Battle Axe.
Yeah. So the Twilight Arsenal New Void Super, it goes with the Unbreakable New Void aspect. Yeah, I want to be excited, but I also want Bungie to think more than give Titan big stick, hit things with big stick. Not that I don't enjoy hitting things with a big stick, but like
you need to throw this big stick with a blade on the end, buddy.
Yeah, and you can make them for all your friends.
What other strategy are you going to use for a Titan?
This is your first.
I think I'll the box.
This is the Titan's first ranged one and done. That's a big deal for you guys.
Yeah, that I'm excited about. I mean, I love the Void Kit as it is. So if I can strap detonators to your chest and have giant battle axes for me and all my friends, or at least my 2 other friends, I'm not unhappy about it. It's not nearly as fun to watch as the Warlock one, but I'm not unhappy. I love having the additional axes. I do worry that in PvP you could give the other team axes inadvertently.
That'll be scary.
That'll be interesting. They're like,
the one thing that gets me is the Hunter helicopter stripper pole. Like, I thought that because it goes up in the air and it spins like that, you catch an enemy, he goes up with you, and you go the whole way up, right? But I just watched the gameplay where they're using it, and you hit him like once or twice on your way up, and then you just fall very ungracefully, might I add. And the enemies are just shooting you the whole time you're going up and down, and it's just like, So what is this for if I can't take a bunch of enemies up with me and hit them repeatedly on the way up? That I don't think that's going to be used much unless they change how it works between then and now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the aspect you could build. I mean, you could use that in part of your other ARC kit somewhere along. Again, I don't know the Hunter ARC kit well enough, but at least the aspect is something you can play with. Not tied to this new super. So I'm excited we're getting the new supers and an aspect for each of the classes. So it's like even if the super doesn't excite you, or you have your favorite, or you're stuck being the well lock forever because that's just your lot in life, at least you've got something else to play with. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably about to make me a arc build because of this.
So your battle axes, when you hit them, when you pop your super and you hit somebody, it's a one shot. And then when you pick it up and you chase after somebody, it's also a one shot. But you have about 18 seconds until it disappears on its own, which is kind of meh. I mean, if you have a battle axe, it should. I hate the counting down energy thing for some of the swords and battle axes in the game. That's dumb, right? But whatever. So that's the thing. And in addition to that, they missed a prime opportunity because for your battle axe icon, they still have the Hive sword there. If they'd have given you your icon for that instead of the Hive sword, that would have been so much better.
I'm sure they will because I mean this is like way early. It says pre-alpha footage earlier. Internal developer gameplay. I'm sure all that's going to get sorted out. Like I'm sure we will have full icons and all this when it launches. This is just super early. They need to give it some icon.
Did I just see a roaming bubble? Hold on.
You did just see a roaming bubble, and that's because that's the aspect. So the unbreakable aspect, and that's what I really want more information on. Like, is it something like, am I using my class ability to pop that up? Is this like how what are the details? Because it seems like it uses the class ability. I'm trying to watch where he pops it, and it's sort of hard to tell with all the other void and effects going on. Seems like he pops uses the class ability, gives him a bubble for it looks like a 10-second timer. Again, trying to watch the counters on the screen of I can run. It's basically a better version of the Arc Juggernaut thing, but way more useful in PvE. Saying we're going this way.
What's really funny is that I've been listening to some of our old shows going back to like the first show, and it was quite funny because we were talking about The Last Word and the Thorn coming back into the game and it being hinted at, and that was nearly like 5 years ago. And now, and with the Titan bubble moving along like a hamster wheel kind of thing, it was quite funny because I think Respawn was one of the first people to say that I remember, even listening to it now, going back, that he brought that up about a movable bubble as a Titan. And I think there was something else that he mentioned, or one of us mentioned, was in Destiny 1 where they had in the tower, you had like a not like the bounty boards, but there were the bounty boards, but there was like an iPad they put down in the helm, not in the helm, down in the area where Zavala, Cade, and Ikora were. There was like this giant iPad that you could go and pick up quests from. And what did they do? Like only about, I think about 2 years ago, they put that little iPad next to where where you can go and collect your postmaster stuff. There's that little iPad, and then they put another iPad over the other side where you can go and collect your stuff from doing the whatchamacallit, anything that you kind of purchase, like the Prime Gaming and things like that. You can go and collect that from another iPad. And it was quite weird is that we were talking about it like in the first couple of shows to say, oh, why haven't they got this in Destiny 2 yet? And it was in Destiny 1, wasn't it? And it's just funny that you were talking about the moving bubble at one point and how that would be game over for you, Respawn, apparently.
I just told you I was uninstalling if you were paying attention. Yeah, no, I'm totally
no, but that's what you said like 5 years ago. You said if the Titans had a movable bubble, it would be game over.
Look, we might not be able to read, but apparently we can predict the future. So if you're looking for Destiny 2 omens, or not omens, oracles. There you go. Destiny 2 oracles. This is your one-stop shop. We got you covered.
Or the Simpsons of Destiny.
But then Bungie said, hold on, what if we give you a big purple battle axe? The Respawn's like, back in. All in again.
Doesn't take long to get him back.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because I was watching that super pop off, right? So the super looks strong itself. But what makes it really strong is everybody grabbing the axe afterwards and continuing the damage phase. So in the
Which
clip,
seems like
they
it does
watch the
good
dungeon
damage.
boss from full health go to near death from just the Titan super and popping and everybody grabbing the axe afterwards and continuing the damage phase. They took almost his entire health bar in a matter of seconds. I was like, wow, that is major DPS right there.
Do you remember which boss it was?
Yeah, the dungeon one from last season's dungeon, the underwater dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, that boss.
Yeah,
that
the
guy.
deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So near full health to, full health to near death.
Wasn't that just a yellow bar knight?
Well, he's a knight and he's a yellow bar, but he's a boss.
No, it was just a knight that he was taking. You know, the two knights that kind of spawn on either side of those stairs.
No, this is the boss. Go
No.
look, it's almost at the end, dude. Yes, it's almost at the end. The boss pops in, right, and then they have to pop his shield. And as soon as they pop his shield, you see the Titan axe, and then everybody picks it up.
Yeah, the axes. Yeah, maybe the axes. Yeah, but I thought you were talking about the bubble booping in.
Yeah,
No, the bubble booping in just hurt my feelings. Like I saw the little hamster wheel. I was like, yeah, no, nope. I called this. I'm done. Game over.
So now,
What, did it bring back some bad memories?
No, it brings back bad future thoughts about a Titan running around in an invincible hamster wheel in PvP. You know.
But now in PvE, I can give you a bubble with the glaive. I can give you a bubble with the super, and then possibly give you the mobile bubble to go between one and the other.
You're still not happy?
No. So, Mr. Nitedemon, I know you've watched the Hunter Super Preview and the Warlock Super Preview. What are your thoughts on those two?
I'm excited. I am excited for both. I'd like a flying bird to be thrown around, and I like having a buddy. I've been rocking my Getaway to Artists with my Arc buddies on my Warlock, and really been enjoying that. And that solo one looks just as fun. And I hope that they bring like a pair of gauntlets or a cape or something for the Warlocks that kind of really enhance those buddies, or maybe enhance that super with those birds. Maybe you could have you chuck out 3 birds and they just go off in random different directions. And the Hunter one, oh, that looks amazing. I can't wait to do that, blinking all over the place and killing people. So yeah, I just it's exciting. Though I don't know why we didn't have these sooner. Don't know.
Bungie needed time for us to tell them what to do, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Or we'll be here in the final shape.
We will.
So are you any less or more confused about deterministic recoil?
I understand that it was something that they did say that they were going to bring it into season 22, and it's all of the season 22 weapons going forward, isn't it? So anything that's got an older symbol on it doesn't have it as yet, but I'm guessing it'll be something that they work on going forward. So that's why I felt it strange when I was using one of the raid weapons, because it's got that deterministic recoil on those weapons already. It's like it's different from the other weapons. So it felt weird using them, but then once you put the counterbalance mod on, I felt a little bit better using them. But yeah, it's like I think it's just something we're going to get used to, really.
Agreed. And how much PTSD and trauma do you have from the Thorn now that it's going to get a catalyst to be even better? Are you dreading it?
Well, not PTSD. I was one of the nasty people that did use it. Me and my friend used it to go flawless in trials in Destiny 1. So yeah, we were those nasty warlocks that kind of 2-tap throughout our firebolt grenade. Bye. There goes the whole team.
So you're part of the problem. Got it.
I was part of the problem way back when, yes.
Wait, way back when? You act like that's changed.
But the thing is, I mean, if you can't beat them, join them at their own game, because you had to be a warlock. Just in case you died, you could do your self-res, which I'm a bit sad that that's not coming back, but, we can't have everything.
Imagine if that did come back.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. You can't make me.
No, don't traumatize Peroty there. No, it
Randy's
was
already
nasty.
traumatized.
It was nasty to fight against.
I absolutely abused that self-res. So I mean, I was absolutely part of the problem. That may have been why I originally created the Warlock in D1. I had just the Titan for the longest time, that eventually made a Warlock, and that may have been the reason. Going, I can do this. This sounds fun. I can come back to life when I screw up. Amazing.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna sit and listen to 41 minutes of lo-fi witch vibes with Eris.
This actually came up last week, and I forgot to put it in the show notes to say that they'd done this. They did this. I'm sure they did this before the TWAB came out last week. It's just weird that it's now in there this week, because sometimes they don't put these things in the TWAB. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, we are going to tell people that we've done this, because it was. I saw it come up, and you see some people make these lo-fi like listening to beats and things, but it was the official Destiny 2 kind of YouTube, and I was like, oh. We're not going to talk about this, but now we're talking about it.
Yeah, it just sometimes they throw the darts at the dartboard and see what makes it into the TWAB and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So I hope you grabbed yourself a nice cup of something warm and toasty, and you got your comfy sweatpants on, because we're just gonna sit and vibe with Eris while she makes her hive notes and ings around with her rock near the map.
And then we can look at the pictures from the motion capture that they did for some of the cutscenes and have a little bit of an explanation on those. So, Peroty, do you want to read us everything there?
Sure, I certainly could.
No, I'm joking.
I also just want to say, I'm going to read it Respawn style, word for word, and you're going to get every last bit of it.
It's fine.
No, I just want to say I absolutely love seeing the motion capture stuff, because I remember when they shared some back in like 2020 of like the guys in their garage doing the mo capture because they couldn't be in the studio with other people.
Yeah.
And every time I see animation in the game, I think of people in rigs like this with little blinky lights, little balls all over them, acting things out, looking absolutely ridiculous. And I laugh every single time. It's great.
Now, is that SpongeBob on that stick?
Quite possibly.
No, this is Patrick.
But are you all primed up with everywhere to go?
I'm so primed up.
Well, if you've linked your Bungie.net account to your Amazon Prime account, you can get some Prime rewards. So we have the Consult the Archives exotic emote, which is cool, and it looks very warlocky. You open a book, and these little symbols come out around your head. Looks really cool. You can have the Curse of Foresight exotic sparrow. So that's very good for this show, because we have the Curse of Foresight to predict what Bungie's going to make 5 years in the future. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Edge of the Worlds, a legendary ship. The Methane Explorer legendary shader, which I think is a new one. So I'm going to have to get that one, because I have to collect all the shaders. So yeah, make sure that I've got me Prime and Amazon linked.
Then you can get all the pretty things and then go diving through the methane, which we did last season.
Yeah.
Now the real question is, where do you collect these?
You link your Amazon and you link your Prime, then you press the button on Amazon, and then you go to not the nice man in the tower, but the little depot next to the nice man in the tower. Get all your lovely drops that we've talked about. But I can't think of the name of what that little kiosk is called now.
It's the one next to the gunsmith. If you've gone past the gunsmith towards Ikora, then you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's a little iPad. It's just a little iPad.
Yep. Little iPad in the corner.
Between
the gunsmith and
I have to go check that out, because I believe I've had mine linked for a hot minute now.
But have you claimed them? Did you link them and claim them?
You have to claim them every month, otherwise you don't get them. You have to go there, physically touch the button every month. It doesn't. It's not an automatic thing. See, this is, if you make the assumption it's automatic, that's when you lose out.
You must go collect the thing. If you are signed up, you should also be getting if you're signed up and you actually get the emails, then you should also be getting an email from, I think it comes from Prime Gaming, like from Amazon, saying, hey, there's a new Prime Gaming bundle for Bungie. Here's a link. Go hit it and then collect the things. But yes, you must go to a page and say, give me this bundle. And then it will say, great, go to the game to collect your bundle. If you haven't said, give me the bundle will not be delivered. You have to order the thing from Amazon before the driver will deliver it to the iPad in the tower.
Correct.
And yes, it's absolutely a driver. Probably a fallen. But not this small one, because this small one's being yeeted into a wall. Which, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hopefully a little bit of happiness made you smile, like it did for whoever wrote the TWAB this week, which I haven't looked at to see.
I'm telling you, from that clip, as funny as it is, there's at least one person out there who's going to find that offensive. I promise you.
The fallen.
Oh my God, why would you throw this cute? Well, that's what makes it funny. It's just because it's so small and it's so cute. And normally you wouldn't do that. So yeah.
If they didn't explode into like a ball of purple goo and mist,
It does,
then,
yeah.
then we wouldn't throw them. I mean, it's kind of on them.
I mean, I was about to say, if somebody does find this offensive, please feel free to email the podcast.
No, don't email us.
Email Hawkslayer directly. Find him on the oil rig and let him know your thoughts. The rest of us are going to go, yeah, that's good for you, and not care. We are going to care about
what?
The crafting table.
Oh.
And the things that are broken, and the things that are fixed, and the things that have happened this week.
That sounds like a you problem.
In the game, do we have enough time to read?
It does. We have so much time to read. We have all the time to read about your Igneous Hammer and Javelin 4 returning. So if you actually wanted to play Trials
properly,
legitimately last week, took one foot in there and said, yeah, how about no? Guess what? You can redo it this weekend. Same weapon, same map, I think?
Yes. Same weapon, same map.
Yeah. So copy and paste Trials, same again this weekend as it was last weekend. Less crazy weapons.
Wait, what is the weapon this week?
Igneous Hammer.
Okay,
Chain cannon.
cool.
Your master code is in delay, so after a delay from the intended Tuesday launch, the Master Crota End Raid is now available with the release of Update 7204. Essence of the Oversoul will also see the increase in drop rate as part of this patch as they had planned. So if you see issues, tell the help forum. So it's up and running now. Your Crota 48-hour challenge, they're still working on sorting all that out. They've been a little busy with other things this week, so they'll sort that out.
We have a live chat that's saying that's not the map or the weapon. I'm confused. So Don Ozarda says, respawn.
No,
it isn't the weapon and the map.
It's pronounced Donnie, and you have to say the Nitedemon's accent. Donnie.
Just call him Donnie. It's just
Donnie.
Okay.
Is that how I sound when I say his name?
You always sound very
kind
chipper
of, yeah.
and happy to see him. So that's how I hear it in my brain.
Okay.
It's like, oh, Donnie's here. Donnie's here to help. That's how I hear it. So I don't know if that's how you hear it, but that's how I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Trials.report says it's Javelin this week. And
maybe he's talking about something else because he just
is he sure that he's in Trials?
Are you sure you know what Javelin 4 is? Because I would have had to go look up and tell you.
Have you gotten the Igneous Hammer yet?
I did notice though, because related to Trials, again, the 3 matches that I played last week, maybe if that, I did notice like a messenger dropped after game number 2, match number 2 of Trials. I just got a messenger dropping, so they were not kidding about the whole, hey, we're gonna up the drop rates of weapons to we're gonna randomly throw at you.
Up the drop rates? You mean actually give you give you the weapons? Because they didn't do it before. It wasn't just upping the drop rate. The drop rate didn't exist. You had to do the stupid Ingram, so you had to get to the lighthouse, right? Now,
you didn't have to get the lighthouse. You could just play and get the Ingrams, but yeah,
right. That's what I said. The Ingrams or the lighthouse. I thought I said or. I meant to say or.
You don't live in a land of or. You've made that very clear, sir.
Exactly.
That's true. You had to do the Ingrams and you go to the lighthouse. There you go. But yeah. So the fact that you're getting it at all is a huge increased drop rate. Yeah, they increased it from none to some. So.
Yeah, because part of the last patch, match wins in Trials will now have a high chance to drop a non-adept Trials weapon. Yeah, they were not kidding. Because I think I played literally three matches, and that was it. Didn't get any further than that. And they were like, "Here's a weapon, enjoy." You and by you won this, we mean the other 2 people on your team with the mega glitched Amit AR weapons won this for you, while you got murdered by the other team with the mega glitched Amit AR weapons. Going,
they still letting people go to the lighthouse?
Yes.
on the
You
Well,
know,
last
you,
week-
you
yes.
said it last week on the show.
I
You
probably
said
did.
Andy's been flawless this week with his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And
That's
Donnie
why.
says that yes, he was in there yesterday, and that is not the map or the weapon.
Well, that was yesterday. He's got it wrong.
Yeah, that Donnie, you got it
Donnie?
wrong there, bud.
Everything's changed.
I mean,
no.
I wouldn't put it past Bungie to just change it or rotate it.
They've
Just
done it before. They've done it lots of times before where they
Yeah, but
changed
they
the map
haven't
to the weapon.
said anything about it. That's the weird part. I was just looking at Bungie Help going, did they say they changed it? Because normally when they change it, they say, oh, hey, by the way, we're changing this. Okay,
Yeah.
well, Trials is up. By the time you hear this, Trials is basically over, and you
and it
won't
doesn't
hear it.
matter. Yeah.
Look,
So-
y'all keep saying, look, Demon is not the nice guy y'all think he is, man. He's
I
always
am
been an
nice.
exploiter. He's always been sassy. He curses way more than you guys think he does.
I
Y'all
don't.
have
That
have
has-
him
that
as
has
like,
nothing-
you
that has nothing to do
know,
with being nice. You can be nice and curse at people. It's more fun that way.
yeah, well, they're all like, wow, Demon's getting sassy. He's not getting sassy. Y'all are just finally seeing it.
Yeah.
Offline, off
there's-
show. Oh, he's way worse than this, man.
Let's see. See,
Oh,
respawn. Respawn.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get respawn no matter what. There's
Yeah.
podcast parody of Night Demon, and then there's real life parody of Night Demon.
Mm-hmm.
These are different personas.
Yeah. No, with me, you get what
Hey.
you know what you're getting. there's I'm the same either way. But yeah, I mean, and then you can tell when he's really, really upset because now hear me out. This is actually a thing. He says
Una puta solo?
he does, and that's when he's hit his
Which
limit.
no one's
That's like,
which no one's going to hear, and
well, no, my live
which
people
the
are the people
podcast
that are
version of
talking
that
about it
is
well.
Night Demon's going to say, insert dolphin here. I can't make a dolphin sound, so
No, don't tell me you can't make a dolphin sound because I've got a soundbite of you making a dolphin
me?
sound.
okay. Well, then I can make a
Oh.
dolphin sound. In the past, the Night Demon has a soundbite of. So there you go. Problem solved.
Weird ass Steven.
Some other problems we're going to need to solve is the Path of the Burning Steps Titan Exotic and its associate ornaments no longer change appearance with these solar weapon
It's
search.
not like
perk
anybody's using it. Oh no, wait.
So
Wait, hold on. That's not your new one, right? That's the
you
one
don't,
that like
you don't even know what it is. Don't tell me what I'm not using. What I'll tell you what I'm not using though is the Hoarfrost Z and the Icefall Mantle exotics, which are using the incorrect cooldowns. I don't know if it's better or worse, but no one's using them anyway, so who cares? When inspecting your weapon details for items stored in player vaults, the weapon perk icons may no longer appear, so you just have to look at the weapon and figure out what it is. The rank 71 Weapon Scrounger seasonal bonus displays as requiring ownership of the season pass, even if the player already owns the season pass. So, stuck in an endless loop. Some players who did not fully complete the Season of the Deep story missions may be blocked from completing the current Season of the Witch weekly story missions until they finish the previous season's story. How you do that,
Can't
I'm
make
not
me.
entirely sure. But
You can't make me. You
Yeah,
can't
Yeah,
make
they're
me.
fine.
No,
They
no,
probably
and I'm
could,
pretty sure
actually.
they still haven't fixed the fact that you can't pick up any bounties from the sonar station. So why
No,
would
they
I ever
haven't.
visit that?
No, they haven't.
Yeah. So so why would I ever go to that part of the thing except to put my fish in the lovely thing and get free exotics out of it? And returning players who
Hey.
did not fully complete a Guardian Rises intro quest prior to the launch of Lightfall cannot obtain the Learning Light quest because you didn't do your prerequisites. Got to do your 101 class first. And also, multiple pieces of armor can cause obstructions when aiming down sights on the Tessellation Exotic Fusion Rifle. So just take off your armor and you'll be fine. And that's a list of known issues. Unless Hawkslayer has more known issues. What's your known issue, sir?
Well, I got to bring this up. Has anybody taken a look at the leaderboards on Fish Deposited?
No.
Not this season.
Well, I was browsing on Bungie.com or Bungie.net, and then somehow through copious clicking links and tabs and all this, I somehow managed to find my way onto there. The number one guy has close to 150,000 fish deposited.
Exotic fish or
Hey,
just
some
fish?
people enjoy good
Just
fishing.
fish.
Yeah, it
That
can't be
doesn't seem like
exotic
a
fish.
lot.
That would take you.
I mean, 100,000 for how long is the season going? That doesn't. I mean, I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like a lot for.
Well, okay. Keep in mind, you can only hold 500 bait at a time.
Yeah, well, you can
And you still
fish
have to
without bait,
do
though.
activities
You
and other
can
things
fish
to
without
replenish
bait.
that.
So, real time update of the Two Titans and the Hunter Discord fish leaderboard Pony has 3,214 fish. Some loser named Peroty has 1,926 fish. Jackley has 1,534 fish. Noble has 1,419 fish. This other loser called Nitedemon, 1,318 fish. And I can't tell you how many fish Respawn caught because Respawn doesn't catch fish.
That's not
And
true. I
isn't even
got
on
all
the
3
board.
exotics. I think I might have deposited maybe 100 fish.
264 fish and 35th position is Respawn.
Don't you mean 69th place?
No, I mean 35th place.
I'm not
That's where
here.
you
Fish.
sir,
I'm here
you
to
sir
deliver
are at
homicide,
50th place
promises of
with a mere
discomfort,
30
and
fish.
rain down upon my enemies with malice. Okay, that is why I'm here, not to fish. If I wanted to fish, I'd go play Legend of Zelda. Okay, that's where you fish. You don't
Sorry,
fish in
valid.
Destiny. There's no fishing in Destiny. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
There's no fishing in Destiny.
I'm pretty sure this man just told us that someone had caught 150,000 of them, so I believe there
I
are
don't
fish.
think so. No, it's a misprint.
I mean, 150,000 fewer than there were, but they're still out there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been fixed. Live update. It's been fixed. It was a rotating map yesterday with the messenger as the lighthouse reward. There you go. So it is fixed.
So what we told
Aw.
people is correct. We win.
Had
Aha.
Sanda.
It's okay. I already got the adept version. I'm happy with it.
Yes.
Good for
Yes.
you.
I don't, and I'm still
Yes.
happy. I'm also happy that there's art of the week and movies of the week that you didn't have to pre-order a weapon. And now Hippie is done telling us about things. So that's it.
For now.
Until next week. I suppose we should also mention to the people before we tell them all about the lovely videos Nitedemon watched this week. We did get that patch 7204, which mainly fixed weapon crafting, but also fixed an issue allowing exploitation of spawns in Rift, and an issue where you can weaken other guardians with a rapid fire ranger artifact perk being active. Your arc attunement runes could be destroyed with certain weapons, so that's fixed. They did, this was also the patch improving the Essence of the Oversoul drop rates for full clears and repeated clears in Crota's End. In the Altar of Summoning, they fixed an issue where the Void Crystal encounter would not progress if the crystals were destroyed too quickly in the third phase. So have fun continuing to destroy those crystals at your lovely speeds.
So you're being way too
fixed an issue
efficient
with
in my
players.
game. I have to punish you. You need to slow down. Stop being so efficient.
Go slower.
I mean, why does any of this surprise you at this point?
Be more like the capybara.
It's
Play
not
the
surprising.
game,
It's
play the game
ridiculous,
peacefully
man.
and without urgency. Are you also surprised they fixed an issue where players can activate their glaive melee while in Weave Walk? So that works now? Maybe you like that they fixed an issue where changing a mod on an equipped item during the equipment locked activity could boot you from the activity.
What?
Or
Changing a mod?
or were the damage resist? Yeah, if you try to change a mod in your equipment locked thing, it would say no, you can't, and just kick you. Or maybe that your damage resistance from the elemental embrace was applying to damage done in PvP. Or maybe you like that they fixed an issue where the arc elemental orbs were applying to certain game objects, applying jolt to certain game objects, so you could jolt a rock, jolt a friend, jolt a doorway. Your secant filaments were granting an overload anti-champion mod to weapons that already have an anti-champion mod intrinsically there. So it was just so that was sort of the question of why are these doing double damage for champions? Well, they aren't anymore. That's been fixed. They told us again they would still boot you. Fix the thing where it booted you out if you changed the mod. Fix an issue where Husk of the Pit and Eidolon Ally would be missing their firing sounds on console. So now they make noise when you go pew pew pew. You actually hear the pew pew pew. The Wendigo grenade launcher and Hung Jury scout rifle are back in the Vanguard Ops focusing legacy area. So if you've been wanting to craft yourself a Wendigo or a Hung Jury to try to get go to the slot machine, pull the lever and get one out. Wendigo and Hung Jury are back.
Focus weapon.
I do mean focus. That's the word. I should focus. Like where they fixed the issue where the minor arcana empowered rewards didn't function as intended. So opening a Season of the Witch chest while using a Witch's Key at the end of the legendary Savathun Spire will now properly give a deep sight seasonal weapon if there are any remaining to find Otherwise, it will give you a high stat seasonal piece of class appropriate armor.
Ooh.
And also the Bulbul Terrain emblem didn't appear in game and couldn't be equipped, and now it can. And that's it. And also, weapon crafting, which they don't say in here that they fixed, but also weapon crafting fixed.
Maybe they don't say because it's not fixed. Maybe that's still an exploit we don't know about yet. Jeez, for a
Fixed well.
What do you know,
Fixed
sir?
well. Fixed
He's
well
not going to
enough.
tell you.
Nope, he's very secretive and definitely doesn't make any videos about it.
Yep, no videos.
So, Nitedemon, what have you watched this week?
Everything.
Are there good videos? Are there things I should be learning?
There was quite a few, of all the weapon craftings this week, which kind of there was no point in telling people now, because even if Cheese makes a video now, it's kind of Bungie are on it. He's on the watch list, basically. Anything that he puts out, Bungie are on the watch list, and he knows he's on the watch list. So he has to be very careful.
I can't make him famous. We'll make him infamous.
But we did get an email this week from Calvin this week, or got 2 emails from Calvin, and he has asked us if we could feature a couple of the videos that he's picked. So he said, so I've been listening to you for about a year and have been playing Destiny 2 for about 3 years, and there's some video suggestions. I'm also a solo player and looking for an active clan. He's on the PS4 and his name is the Buddy Burns.
Now, what exactly do you consider active? Because the Frozen Clan, somebody's on at all times. Now, do we necessarily play with each other or communicate well? Not really, but we're very active.
He's looking for a clan. So if you are more active than the Frozen Clan, then reach out to the Buddy Burns. That's all one word. The Buddy Burns. So that's
BURNS.
Yeah. And
but what about the numbers?
There's no numbers.
There's no numbers.
You gotta have the
if
hashtag.
you're hearing numbers, sir, I'm gonna
everybody's got a hashtag in their name. Mine's hashtag 8008.
No, on the PlayStation. It's on the PlayStation.
This is not Discord. PlayStation.
PlayStation.
No.
Yeah.
Our
I was
Guardians
talking for the
have
Bungie
hashtags,
ID.
remember?
Look,
Did you guys forget?
don't argue with the man's email.
Respawn. Go to your PlayStation. And tell me what your gamer tag is.
I don't have a
Whatever
PlayStation
calls
anymore.
it.
He got rid of
I
it.
did find
Anyway,
I
you
did
can't
have two
tell me what
Xboxes.
to do.
I thought they were gone. No, they're in the closet, just buried under a bunch of stuff.
Can I tell you his videos that he's picked for people to check out?
We need to
You
know
can.
his, we need to know his hashtags so people can actually invite him.
Well, I'm sure once he hears this, he'll email me back and say, "This is my hashtags."
Fine.
So you've got to wait. Anyway, he has picked from Shadow Destiny the 10 stages of every Titan, the 10 stages of every Hunter, and the 10 stages of every Warlock. 3 separate videos. I'm sure we did feature them a while back when they came up, when Shadow Destiny was making them. But he's picked them, so I'm putting them forward as the ones that he's picked. And he's also picked the Which Exotic to Buy in 2022 edition from Datto. So you could go and check that one out, because that one goes over the Monument to Lost Light. And I think he was picking that one out especially for Mellow Mally, who sometimes doesn't know which exotic to pick from her vast amount of exotics she can pick from doing all her
Respawn
farming.
until after the fact.
All right.
What?
So Respawn live update. The Buddy Burns hashtag 6899 on Bungie.net.
There you go.
So
that was
the
easy.
Buddy Burns, all one word, pound 6899. And I am confident because there is only one if you search the Buddy Burns, and he has a linked PlayStation account.
There's only one.
So there you go.
He also did send up a follow-up email speaking about what Mellow Mally said. He said, "I'm not sure if Mellow Mally said it, but I think another good Guardian goal is to find a good and kind clan that fits their personality and playstyle for new and old Guardians
I'm
alike."
not sure about that. My clan,
We fit your playstyle. We put up with you. That's enough.
really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If not, he's
That's all
always
you need.
welcome at the Fallen Guardians. There you go. Fallen Guardian says they'll
There you
take
go.
him.
Also mentioned the Imbaru Engine video that Ibontis put out. So if you're interested in that. Say Wallabra put out a video going officially the new best hand cannon in the game. and it's not really a new hand cannon. It's just been in the game for a very long time, and it's called the Sturm exotic hand cannon. But apparently, it's doing magical work again in the Crucible, especially for Checkmate Control. Cheese Forever did put out a video this morning, and so I don't know whether this is going to be patched or not. But the glitch that happened, I think, last season with people cheesing their way to the easy Ascendant ranks is back in the game as of today. So you can get to the Ascendant rank very quickly by using Cheese's video. So you can go and check that out. We have the Conservation of Energy Master Challenge made easy from Sneaky Beaver. So if you want to do the Crota Z Raid Challenge this week, that will be coming to end on Tuesday reset, but it will be back up again in 4 weeks' time. So I'll put that in the show notes for you to kind of check back up on. Hopefully each week with each challenge, we'll have a different person going over or maybe Sneaky Beaver will do one for each one.
Sneaky Beaver,
we'll have a video each week.
I want to be your friend.
You can be Sneaky Beaver's friend.
Sneaky Beaver's friend.
You can like, comment, and subscribe, and then you can be friends, and you can subscribe to his special channel or join his Discord. I'm sure there's something there that'll get you closer.
That's me paying him for his time. That's prostitution, not friendship.
That's the first step in friendship. First you get close to him, then you take him down from the inside. Yeah, prostitution is the first step to friendship. That's how adulthood works.
I'm not sure where this is going.
Neither am I.
We haven't been sure where this is going since the beginning, so welcome.
Is it bad that I'm actually used to having these kind of conversations?
Yes, it is. These aren't the kind of conversations that you should be having with anyone.
Well, welcome to the blue-collar construction world, my friend.
I mean, the dude's name is Sneaky Beaver, and then we find out prostitution's the first step towards friendship. I mean, what are you expecting, okay? Honestly.
I mean, I was just telling Respawn how to get closer to him, and, he took that into prostitution. So, I mean, how he gets closer to him is not really my decision to make. If Respawn went straight to prostitution, then I'm not going to stop him. I'm not going to tell him he's wrong. I'm going to let him live his life.
Well, isn't he already a part of Marisaw's OnlyFans?
I wish. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
All right, I'm changing plans.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you about a craftable weapon that you can craft from the Wellspring activity called the Come to Pass, which is a slow-firing auto rifle that Destiny Fun Police has made a video on this week, telling you that it's been buffed and how well it's doing in PvP. So you should go and check that one out. And Cool Guy has made a video on the heliocentric QSC, which is the most surprising weapon he's used for a long time, which is the new sidearm, which is a well drop that is very rare and very hard to get hold of in the game at the moment. But I heard people talking about it on the DCP podcast, and then Cool Guy put out a video yesterday. So I was like, it's got to be fate. People need to know about this. It's doing amazing. And no matter what perk combination you get on it, Cool Guy recommends it. So check that video out.
Is it as a sidearm? I think
yes. It's a lightweight frame one. He said we haven't had one since I think it's the Redback or Redjack. I think it's the Redback since a couple of seasons back.
Redjack is the Crucible robot. So
Redback then. There was a Vice lightweight firing one, and this is a new one. But so go and check that out, because you may have had one to drop and just gone, oh, well, I'll dismantle that. But don't check it out, because Cool Guy recommends
don't check it out.
And Fallout Plays has put the best new weapon perks and origin traits in Destiny 2. So he's gone over all of them. He's tested, how high off the ground you have to be standing to get the one that gets extra. No, yeah, but to get the extra damage. But
one shot, body shot. I have that on an auto rifle, I think. I have it on something that's not a sniper rifle.
That man is just a service to this community. He has suffered long and hard for the benefit of all of us.
Honestly, you guys absolutely should subscribe to him, because like we said before, I mean, I might be biased, but that man has got in-depth knowledge videos on a bunch of stuff you didn't even know you wanted. And like, I remember a long time ago, he found out that the weapon's skin barrel length determines how far the weapon can fire. Like, it affected the range stat because of a skin. So, I mean, like, just weird stuff that you wouldn't think of. Fallout's got you covered.
So, yeah, those are my videos. And a couple of the emails that we got this week. I'm a bit disappointed we don't have a Mellow Mally one that we respawn to read, but we do have one. We do have one from our first time, well, not first time emailer, 10th time emailer, Mr. Not Off.
That he has specifically requested Respawn to read to him. So I've
Yes.
pasted it into the show notes channel for Mr. Respawn to read.
I did email it to Respawn separately, but he never checks his emails.
Well,
also he has to read it in the proper accent.
To it is you got to tell me specifically to look for yours because
Yes, that's very true.
Hold on.
So the subject line is leave of absence for Respawn to read. So it's right there in the subject line. He's made his wishes implicitly known.
So, firstly, let me apologize, spelled incorrectly, for the lack of lore on the podcast and also my virtual silence. As Nitedemon and Peroty have mentioned, I am currently training for a job in the fire and rescue service. I am also working full-time as a firebug. So when I'm not training or at work, I'm trying to spend time with my wife and children. Well, as this is taking up a lot of my time, the main reason I'm not able to play Destiny or even just reading the lore is my mom recently being diagnosed with stage 4 kidney failure. This is a limiting condition. She has already been confined to a wheelchair and not in a great place, so I'm trying to spend as much time with her while I still can. Okay. That's sad, and we understand. But you should add periods to your sentences, my friend.
Otherwise Respawn's going to run out of breath and miss out words.
As we stand, I don't have time to even keep up with the lore, and I don't feel it's fair on you, the listeners, to do a half-arsed job on it. I will return when I can. With love, not Arf.
So did he give love or not?
Yeah.
You said not Arf.
With love, not Arf, is what I said.
Yeah, but it sounds like a childish thing. You know, I'm not your friend. You could have just said Arf.
His name is not Arf.
I know.
People know
I'm just
him as
pointing
not
that out.
Arf.
But he signed it Arf.
We need it in the cowboy voice? All right, I'll do it in the cowboy voice.
No.
So as he said, we've known for a while what's been going on, and obviously it's not our business to share his business, but since he said, hey, have Respawn read this, let the people know. Now you, the people, know why we've now gone through 2 lore people. One of them is still here, and one of them is having life get in the way while training to be a firefighter. So if you're setting fires in Britain, he could come to your house and save your life, and maybe if you're lucky, drop some lore while he's there.
Could you imagine him putting out your house fire and be like, by the way, did you know that Eris Morn is turning herself into a hive god?
This reminds me of the time where we had to fight our way through with the soul.
The what?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where that thought was going. The solar something. I'm not quick enough on my feet today. But yeah, our hope things improve, get less crazy. You know where to find us.
Yep, we're not exactly going anywhere, not Arf. So, yeah. We'll be here unless we find someone to replace you, my friend.
Only I think we are kind of going somewhere because
going away.
Yeah, I think it's time to be done. I think this is where I say thank you for joining us, all you lovely, wonderful human people out there. I assume you're human people, maybe you're robots, who've gone to patreon.com/TTH. Zep Orbit, that man cannot be threatened with a good time. We've tried. We have run out of threats at this point. Zep Orbit can't be threatened. Raid Legend, the T-Rex King, Scarlet KM, BHS Nightcrawler, Mellow Mally, and Dedicated Wham 64. They are our otter dance troupe. They are the best dancers. Now, they are otter, not auteurs. These are very different. Some of them are furry animals. Some of them are dancers. Some of them may be dancers and furry animals. It's hard to say. But you know why they dance. You guys know why they dance. Because of all the grenades Carter 2782, Golden God 1562 basically sold zombie pops and our Kalantar throwing at them. And Deacon is deep in thought about next year's raid race attempt. Because she is working with Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, PP Pipe, and the Drifter Driftwood on making them the best day 1 raid team they could ever be. And we know she will lead them to great victory and success.
Oh, she will.
Absolutely. And I'm going to lead you to be off, going out in the world by saying thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon, and your Hunter is no one response in real life. your man who has turned up, threaten us with a good time, and some sort of contest as Hawkslayer. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere as Two Titans and a Hunter. Or you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, twotitansandahunter.com. We'll get you there, and it'll tell you all the places to subscribe. You should follow us on YouTube. You really should. For each new episode, weekly update video, and when there are live streams, they live on YouTube too. It's the place to find all the things. If you would like to join the Otter Dance Troupe, threaten us with a good time, or throw more grenades, patreon.com/TTAH. If you just want to throw some shekels our way, coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/2titansandahunter. It is a small spelling test. I believe in you. If you like the thrill of live action, spicy language, and just want to know what Respawn's up to, twitch.tv/no one respawns in real life. Or if you want to keep it family friendly like a proper British gentleman, twitch.tv/2titansandahunter. And you should go to both those places. You should subscribe, you should hit the bell, and then you will know when the lovely people stream. And with that, gents, that's all I've got. Unless you've got anything else, tell the people goodbye, give them your thoughts, and until next week. And something contest update. Once we understand, we'll tell you what we understand, then maybe you two can understand it, and then we'll have a plan together.
All right, and like I said, guys, a week after the fix has been made, so a week from let's say today, right? A week from today is how long you have to submit your wacky guns to the wacky gun contest for that $50 gift certificate. So don't forget, you have 1 week remaining. So email it to us. I forgot how else they said you can send it to us, but send us your wacky gun.
Just the link.
Yeah.
You can send the link if you want.
Yeah.
Send us an email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can send us a link to the thing wherever it is, send us a link, but you must send us an email by September 30th. I'm going to say 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, because that's when we record the show. So you have 1 week, September 30th, to get your entries in, and Respawn will judge them. We will laugh at them. We will have good times, and then you will get things. And then this other contest will happen sometime in the future. More to come, I guess.
Well, it'll happen within the next couple of weeks, because I got to make sure to have time for everybody to put in their numerical guesses on what the final score will be between the three of y'all.
Yep.
And
what he said.
Trust me,
All right.
I will be making plans that if you guys try to botch this and make it all zeros, it will not be pretty. But there will be an outcome and there will be points.
Look, man, it's probably going to be all zeros even if we don't try to botch this, all right? You've given
Correct.
us
Yeah, have you met us
much
before?
credit, okay? We might actually try and still get all zeros. That's why I said to
Have
you,
you listened
you
to
need
the
to have
show,
a
sir?
negative
I'm a little
option.
worried.
That way at least one of us can be the least negative, you know?
I will probably implement a
Zero is
negative
not the
system
floor.
just so that we can have something to go off of.
I recommend it heavily.
We're going to need whoever's the least negative to declare a winner.
Anyway, bye.
Bye, deuces.
Bye.
See you later. La da vedere. Ciao.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.